North American stock futures pointing to a bit of a mixed start to kick things off as we head into the final trading session of the month of August. Overall, we're still on track for a 7th straight monthly gain for the S&P 500. That was Arun, if you were wondering. Good morning, Arun. The 500 index is up about 3% on the month so far. The Dow ahead 1.3%. The NASDAQ leading the way as far as the month is concerned. 4% gain still as we head into the final session here of August for the tech-heavy index, the NASDAQ, as we were saying. It's the largest monthly winning streak for the S&P 500 since a 10-month stretch back in 2017. If today's gains hold up, again, 3% for the S&P to start things off so far. Front and center this morning, we're looking at Zoom shares. ZM down sharply following their earnings. It was a forecast that was below estimates. We'll talk about that. Robinhood shares under pressure again this morning, coming off that big decline yesterday late in the day on some SEC concerns. And it's WonderFi Day. The guys from WonderFi, including Kevin O'Leary and Josh Richards of TikTok fame, coming through about 10:30 this morning. So stick around for that. It's Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. tradertv.live starts now. There we go. As mentioned, a bit of a mixed start, a little bit lower overall right across the board here for North American markets. You can see all three U.S. markets to the downside. Again, the S&P holding on to a 3% monthly gain heading into the final day of the month here. The TSX futures here in Toronto slightly lower as well. Bitcoin back under pressure, 1.6%. Ethereum the other direction today, 2+% to the upside. You can see crude oil under pressure there a little bit, 0.8% as well. Just watching Beyond Meat here, guys. We had a bit of a headline just coming out there for Beyond Meat. There was a court ruling, it looks like, out of California that went in favor of BYND. No reaction whatsoever, though, for Beyond Meat. It's Tuesday, guys. There we go. Going to be an interesting morning. Good morning, guys. Sean, Arun back again. Neil off this week if you were not with us yesterday for holidays. So Neil will be back after the long weekend coming up this week. Yeah, we have Monday off this weekend, guys. It's WonderFi Day, guys. We're really excited to have the guys from WonderFi coming through at 10:30 this morning. Don't go anywhere. Kevin O'Leary, as I mentioned, Josh Richards from TikTok, going to be with us. Should be a good one.
Yeah, no, look, we're super excited. We've had Kevin O'Leary on numerous times, and he's obviously a great talk, lots of ideas. And today we go with WonderFi, so I think that should be an interesting one. We talked about MindMed when they first hit to market, and now today we have another name for you. So MindMed graduated up from the NEO into the NASDAQ, so that was a good trade. So we'll see what he has to say today. And then Josh Richards, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about him, but he has a great following. Huge on social media, and he's part of this deal as well. So it should be a really exciting day for us. And not only that, we have a lot of trading to do. Yesterday was a fantastic day. It's absolutely great to be back. The sticky note is out there. We're super happy. Shout out to my daughter Gia, who apparently is watching and sending me messages on the chat. That's pretty cute. So thank you to her as well. And yeah, look, we're really super excited. I'm happy to be with my man here, Arun, again today. So we wish Neil the best on his vacay. I'm sure he's enjoying it as well. I believe he went to a cottage as well as I did. So he should be having a good time there. And the markets move on with or without us. And it was a great day yesterday. Today we start off with Hood's going to be moving again, Arun. We have PayPal. I know you were crushing, you traded Microsoft and crushed Facebook yesterday as well. So a lot of big cap techs back on the board today as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of big cap techs, and you can see it on my screen now. I'm already short on Apple here.
Attaboy.
Yeah, so that's sitting on a 28-cent winner so far. There's a lot happening on my screen. If you're wondering why I'm all over the place, I've got a few positions that are, well, specifically the futures position. I do have one. It's not on the screen because we kind of just changed things up a little bit and not put those up because it takes up too much space. So futures positions I will talk about. I am short though, and I'm just trying to manage that position. Another one, thank you Magnum King in the chat for putting up some stock lists. Piton approaching $100 even. I'm looking at $100 on Piton. It is sitting there. I want to see how we break below 100, if we can actually stabilize, and then at that point, you got to take the shot at the short. So thank you for putting that up. Guys, we are looking at the chats So keep on participating. Thank you so much. What's up, Brendan?
Just reading a headline here, guys, on Tencent. Tencent says it has ended most exclusive music rights by August 23rd, which was obviously last week. We were talking a little bit over the past couple of weeks about how Chinese regulators were mentioning that they might force the company into getting rid of some of their music rights. So it looks like Tencent releasing a statement there on that. Before we go any further, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Hi guys, thank you for joining us today. It's going to be an exciting and interesting day. Please enjoy the show, enjoy your trading, and don't forget to like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed, guys, get it started. Going to be an interesting one today. We're seeing right across the board, Chinese stocks for the most part, the tech side of things to the upside, some of the online education companies back in negative pressure once again. So we're going to talk about some of the Chinese names coming up here, but I want to start things off with a look at Uber, if we could, because I noticed this Yandex Russian tech stock has been just on an absolute tear over the past couple of days, 3 or 4 sessions, in fact, in a row. To the upside, they're teaming up with Uber on a $1 billion deal, snapping up some of their food delivery and self-driving businesses throughout that region for $1 billion, again, for Yandex. So YNDX for Yandex. Uber, obviously, everyone's well aware of. Uber not really doing much here, guys, but a bit of a quiet announcement, I guess, for them.
Yeah, you know, Uber, when we had that big move through 40, and then we kind of just went sideways, and I talked about this in the afternoon, we kind of did that move early on, and then if you were trading it, you were able to catch that move through 40, 50, you had that move all the way down. If you didn't, you kind of were just stuck in the sideways action there. And here we are again, slightly higher than where we were closing, where we closed yesterday, but at the same time, we're below 40. We're still below that 40 half, which was the break point on that downside move. So, I mean, how much can you really take a shot at this unless, of course, it goes to the lows, which sits around, well, the low is going to be sitting just above 39, but I would argue that 39 would have to be the break if you're going to take a shot at the extension. But for now, it does look like Uber is just kind of going sideways for the moment. Just keep an eye on 39 if you are looking for shorts on Uber. If you are looking for longs, though, just be aware that 40 half is going to be a problem to the upside. 40 half through 40.75, call it 41 even. It's going to be a problem to the upside. But for now, we're going to leave Uber alone and see if it can get below 39 before we get involved.
You know what, Arun? I'm going to use your chart situation there because I think I like that where you can now, we have the day breaks now, so I can show the different day breaks there. That's a 5-minute chart, so that actually looks pretty cool. You can see definitely a lot there. So I think we'll keep that up and have a quick look at Uber as well. But I mean, look, Uber's been getting hit a little bit. They did have a decent earnings report, and for some reason it tanked and then came right back up on that. And then now you're all the way back down into this area of concern for me again at $39. And yesterday was not a great day for Uber, 41 down to 39. So, you know, we'll see what happens here today. You're up a little bit. I don't think that Yandex deal is that big of a situation. But again, I didn't really analyze it until just right now when Brendan brought that up. So I think yesterday you had a lot of barcoding here on Uber. If we drop this down to a 3-minute chart, we'll try to find to see if there's a trade here. Yeah, I mean, a lot of support back down at 39. So I don't know. We'll just see if this has anything behind it. Let's go over to Lyft here today just to see if it's getting a little bit of a bump there, maybe because of the news, but I know it's not the same thing as this. Lyft doesn't have as much diversification as Uber does, so I don't like Lyft as much. I know Mark Roberts used to really like Lyft more than Uber. I like Uber better. I would like to get into Uber, but they're both right near these bottoms. So I think there's a good opportunity here if you did think the market was coming back. But look what's happened the last couple of days, man. The NASDAQ has been rocking and rolling. And if your money's been in Apple just went up 3% yesterday, up to 152, 153 new all-time highs, Microsoft, Facebook, all that, and you've just been stuck in Uber, which is going this way, right? And so we have to wait for the money to rotate back into some of these names. I'm still very, very nervous about the reopen, to be honest with you, Brendan and Arun and everybody out there. So you've seen LUV, I mean, a couple of these other names that we thought could get going as well. I thought LUV was a NASDAQ name. I guess it's not. It's a New York name. Yeah, so that's still down here to 49 as well. Come on. That's still down here to 49. So I don't know. I'm not a big, huge fan of these reopen plays. CCL right now as well. I mean, we can go on and on about some of these stocks, but you know, they're all, come on, let's go chart. They're all near bottoms right now. Like CCL has been a lot lower than this, but look where we came from. So I'm nervous about a lot of these reopen plays, and Uber is just going to be one of those, Brendan. And until we see it get going, I'd like to see it above that 43, 44 mark before we really get excited about it, which is right in here. These kind of bottoms, 43, 44. So we'll wait on Uber. I don't think this is that much of a mover here today, only 57,000 shares. But hey, it could be. I don't think it'll be on my radar, but a good report for Uber.
First thoughts here, guys, as far as Chinese stocks are concerned. As I mentioned, some of the tech-related or more tech-related stocks to the upside today, including Alibaba up 3% here still in the pre-market. It has come off the highs a little bit, but Alibaba, PDD, Pinduoduo, Baidu, I even noticed to the upside this morning. There was another, these are on the list once again, so we are going to talk about these further a little bit later on, but there was another ruling and another set of restrictions coming through, specifically targeting e-commerce tech companies this morning. So interesting to see BABA here up 3%.
BABA is one of those stocks, and I feel like I've been saying this pretty much all of last week too. The way it's been trading is just like, oh, let's go gap one day, gap up, gap down, gap up, gap up, gap up, maybe gap down. Like, what do we work with? What we can work with at this point, given that it's gapped up past the 165. I was thinking maybe, if we work 165, consolidating below 163, we can take a shot at the upside. Now we're gapped up. I'm looking at 170. That goes back, actually. Let me go back to that. Oh, no, let's get rid of that. And we go back here, going back to last week or so. 170 seems to be from the 25th and the 26th. We were sitting in front of 169 and 169.5. Let's call it 170. A break of 170 kind of opens the door a little bit. You may have $2.5, $3 in space to the upside. But given where we are, we're trading at 167. There is not a whole lot you can work with in terms of levels. There's no support until we get down into the 164 area, 164 going on down. And then in terms of resistance, we're looking at resistance above 168 to 170. So at this price right now, and the fact that it's actually kind of drifting off to the downside, I wouldn't do a whole lot. You're either going to catch support as we approach 165 and change, or you're going to go for the fade if it gets back above 168 into the 168.5 with the 170 stop. Of course, if you flip the trade, if 170 goes, then you go for the long and see if you can grab $2.5, $3 off that break. But BABA is up $3. We've seen how this trades. This has got to be frustrating for a lot of people that are holding this long term, because I'm sure they just want to move, whether they want to know whether they're right or they're wrong. But this kind of up and down action for the last week, pretty much, is kind of, I imagine, frustrating. Also, as a day trader, it's kind of hard because it kind of just gaps away from levels that you want to work with. So it's one of those things where you just got to wait for it, maybe put some orders out, see if you can get a fill after the market opens. It doesn't look like we're going to get anything at the moment in the pre-market, at least.
Yeah, so I actually like this story here a little bit. I mean, that's obviously why BABA's up that 3% and a bit today. And just the fact that they're trading higher, the Chinese government are going to crack down a little bit on some of the business that they're doing. And if they have a legitimate business, then I don't see that that's too much of a worry. I think there was a lot of, I mean, there still is. I mean, Alibaba's been getting absolutely crushed. This is a 7-minute chart I opened up here, but on a 1 minute, let's go to the daily quickly here just to show you. This is what I'm talking about. It's just been absolutely destroyed. The government came in and just slapped all these Chinese companies around a little bit, and I just think Alibaba didn't deserve it as much as some of the other ones. I think that they have U.S. accounting behind them. They're super, super legit. We've seen, I mean, I can't say that. I've never bought anything off Alibaba. I know there have been a few people around here that have and had good experiences. So I'm not going to hate on their platform. It's a little bit different, I think, than Wish, obviously. But Alibaba, when they have their singles day, they blow records out every single time. It's bigger and bigger. We've talked about this, man. If it's not going to be Tencent, then I think it has to be Alibaba. I think you have to get long 2 of those names, Nintendo maybe as well, another high quality name. But I'm looking at this 170 level right here on the daily chart, and that's why I called up a little bit of a longer time frame here. I know Arun just talked about it, but if they're going to get some relief here and the government's not really going to shut them down or change the way they have to operate, anything like that, they're just going to sort of dig down on violations of IP rights. So as long as they don't have any intellectual property, like, selling fake goods, things like that on their platform, and then also, collecting of data, that's a little bit more of a worry, and that's why a stock like DD maybe is in a bit more trouble. But I like Alibaba, man. I mean, we've seen Amazon bounce back a little bit in the last couple of days. I don't see any problem with Alibaba. I'm going to give a shout out to Shakib because he's been on some of these names as well. And then TCEHY. which is a pink sheet name. We're going to have Jeff Mendel on tomorrow from OTC Markets. He had to skip out today, but we will have him back on. And if you look at Tencent as well, this was getting crushed, all the way down 57. You even had lower than that on the, oops, that's not the daily. This is the 1 minute. Now I have too many charts, Arun. There's the daily chart. Here it is. So Tencent crushed down to 54.55, bounces all the way back to 62 here. I believe this is a name, and I know we have some Tencent news as well. I believe this is a name that needs to be bought. And then NTDOY. I always have to remember these because it's easy to remember 3 digits, but sometimes with 5, we get a little bit of a problem there. Nintendo, another name, and mind you, it shows down minus 100% because there's been no pre-market trades on our platform here yet. So Nintendo, look at this fall from grace. I mean, hey, we're leading up right now to Christmas buying time. There should be, I know it's only September, but people start to get ready to rock and roll with that. That should be put a little bit, I think, away in someone's Santa stocking there for a nice little Christmas gift, because I believe this one gets back at least to its 50-period moving average. And I'm not in Nintendo, I'm not in Tencent, and I'm in Alibaba, stuck at 217 is my price. So I'm not pumping any of these stocks. I just think that the Chinese names are way overdone here, and I'm a buyer of all of these. I do have a low bid on Nintendo that missed me. I was down at 56, it missed me. So we'll wait to see if that does happen. But hey, any sort of pullback in these Chinese names, especially the high quality ones, I think they need to be bought, and I'm staying away, Brendan, from the education names, because I think that is a story that's not over yet.
Yeah, let's talk more macro here a little bit, guys, before we get into the watch list this morning. I want to mention a ruling that came out of South Korea, actually. We'll jump over to our friends at Yahoo Finance to show you this headline. It's actually Bloomberg that's reporting this. There's a new law that is set to pass, and they're saying that it will, without a doubt, pass in South Korea. So Apple and Google, well known for their 30% commission on anything that happens in the App Store, they gave South Korea, I think it was 6 months grace period when they started working in those market, or in that market specifically, but that grace period is coming to an end. So they're set to, specifically Apple, set to introduce this 30% commission once again for South Korea. But they've passed a bill that might not allow them to do this. Obviously, South Korea, not the largest market in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but this is the first of its kind to even be talked about to prevent, the Apples and Googles of the world to have this kind of dominance in this space and be able to say, yeah, you got to pay them 30% on the commission side. So we've seen Apple leading over the past couple of days, guys. Thoughts here on this story, as it could start at least other countries having this conversation as well.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
No fear at this at all. These guys are too huge to be worried about absolutely anything, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I've talked about, the FCC coming in and maybe shutting down Google or turning it around, and not shutting it down, splitting it up. Same thing with Facebook, same thing with Microsoft, same thing with Apple, same thing with Amazon, blah, blah, blah. But now South Korea coming in and talking about some of the commissions. So I don't know, again, I don't want to say this, I'm thumbs downing it because I don't think it's going to affect Google as a stock. I mean, I have the chart up here. I mean, the 1 day, this is, it's just monstrous. I mean, all big cap tech looks like this, but not all of it. Actually, nothing looks like this. Straight to the upside. I mean, this is a 50-period moving average. And I mean, if you're not looking at 50-period moving averages, then I'm not sure what you're doing. Look at Google, just bounce, 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 bounce. Every time it touches that 50-period moving average on any kind of bad news, it just rips its face off and just goes right back to the upside. Like, touch it here, bang. Touch it here, bang. Like, every time here, bang. So, I mean, this name gets bought up every single dip. I don't know one person that doesn't use something to do with Google, whether or not it be Gmail or has an Android phone or web services, things like that. The cloud is a monstrous. Their advertising business is absolutely huge. And by the way, we're streaming on something that they own as well. YouTube has a monstrous recurring revenues now. I mean, it's absolutely huge. They have the Pixel phones. They have absolutely so many tailwinds, in my opinion, just like Apple does. And I know I'll leave Apple for Arun because he's in it, but look, we don't trade Google on the show because I like this to be divided by 10. I mean, it's at $3,000. The spread for me already right now is $5. I honestly, even if I trade 10 shares of this thing, I just feel like there's better opportunities to make some cash on other names. So we don't trade Google. But as far as a hold, I'd look to buy Google on every single dip. I said this the other day, and I'll say this to you, Arun. How much do you think Google's up this year so far?
Let's look at your chart real quick.
Yeah, well, now you're looking at the chart. But the point is 1,700 to 2,900. Like, you're up 70% on the year. People don't even, I think, and I didn't even realize it, and I know Brendan and Neil didn't when I asked them that before, you know, what is going on with Google? It's such a strong company, and this news, although it's going to affect it, I'm a buyer on any dips, long story short.
Yeah, in terms of investments, I think you have, obviously, with tech being such a driving force in today's society, investment in tech makes perfect sense for it to be a long-term hold, right? But in terms of trading, let's talk about trading. We are day traders, not investors. We are day traders. I know Sean dabbles in the investment side of things once in a while when he talks, but for me, I'm going to talk from the day trading perspective. And the reason I'm short on Apple is because of what we did in the afternoon. We were kind of consolidating in the late session. We had quite the rally on Apple. Apple was one of those stocks that took off along with Facebook. And it was actually stronger than Facebook. And it just took off and just went sideways a little bit. And the fact that we kind of, you don't see it on this chart here, but we did go above the yesterday's high and then kind of moved back underneath in the pre-market, right? Around 4 o'clock, 4:30 this morning. This chart's kind of incomplete a little bit. But the fact that we were able to kind of go back up, take out highs, come back down, break down below this consolidation point makes me think, you know what, let's take a shot at the short. At the same time, I was also shorting the futures as well. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what, I'm going short into the futures. I'm also going to take one of the largest weights in the futures as well. So looks like my read is going to be in line with what I want to do with the market as a whole. So why not take a shot? We are in the money, 22 cents. But again, the risk on this trade isn't high. It's about 50 cents or so. I just want to see how much downside we have. Based on the way it's been moving, how much downside do we have in Apple, given how strong it was, right? I want to see, I think it's worth a shot at least at 50-cent risk. So here I am short on Apple, and I believe the first target for me, you see it here in front of 151. So I'm risking 50 cents, but I'm looking to make at least $1.75 or so. So for now, we are short Apple and we are short the futures at the same time. Brendan's got upgrades and downgrades for us.
Yeah, a number of them today, guys, to talk about. Some analyst moves for you. Brookfield on here on the upside, cadence. Funko up nicely in the pre-market. We'll talk about that a little bit over the morning. Zoom down here, obviously down significantly, but a few analysts still speaking positively about Zoom this morning. So heads up on that. Five Below, FireEye, AT, and Zymergen down this morning as well, guys.
Yeah, Zoom is on my, so the only interesting name, well, I mean, there's a bunch. You know, I like FireEye as I just look to see through these cameras what's going on there, but you know, AT&T is not super exciting. We all know about that one for a day trade, but we will get to Zoom soon, and we can do it for right now. It is going to be on the watch list. It's also on my sticky note right here. So if you are interested in some of these Zoom levels, I think it's way overdone to the downside here. Over 50 different apps they have now that, you know, offer different products for people that are trading, that are using the Zoom product. And you know, again, if we are going to be worried about some of the reopenings, then I think that Zoom needs to be put back into people's portfolios. And I mean, I've been wrong on this. Like when I sat down, I thought that this was overdone. And I actually wrote down here that I like now it's just going to be wrong, but I wrote down on here that I like the 312 break, like just thinking that we could come back up to the upside here and then break through and continue to go. But, you know, since we wrote this sticky note at about 8 o'clock-ish, or a little earlier, you know, you can see that it's just tick, 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 tick all the way to the downside, and Zoom's going to continue to fall here. So we have to look at a daily chart to see if we can find some sort of support, and there is some support down here at 280. I mean, if we get blown out down to there, then maybe that's going to be something. Their numbers weren't huge. What is $1 billion they did? I believe was first $1 billion revenue quarter, okay? $1 billion worth of revenue. I mean, Zoom, I'm using it for free. I mean, I think most people are, but the corporate accounts are now coming in. And I mean, they've been in there. $1 billion of revenue, that's pretty big. The advertising is going to be there for them eventually. The problem is they forecasted between 107 and 108 when the street expected 109. So that's a miss, right? I mean, if the street's expecting that, even 1 penny is going to affect what the numbers are moving forward. So we're going to have to look at the daily chart here. We're going to have to look at 280 as an area of concern. Let's let this settle down. Right now, I can't really find a level in here that I really like. Obviously, we'll talk about 300, but we still have, I can't believe it. We still have 35 minutes to go here. Yeah. Zoom already 1.2 million shares for a $300 name, Maroon. That's big. So I like it. I just, what is the spread? I'm very, very tempted. I'm very tempted to take this long. But like Affirm yesterday, we took the long. It went in the money. I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, yesterday, look what Affirm did. Hopefully my charts will show my trades because we actually made money on Affirm yesterday, and it was a good trade. Now, yeah, okay, it does show it. Perfect. So this is what I wanted to show you yesterday on Affirm. So thank God this showed up. So yesterday, this is 843. So it's like we're getting in right now. We get in on a level break, right? $98. It goes all the way up to 103, 104, 105. We don't do anything about it. That was a great opportunity. But look what happened once the market opened. It faded all the way back down, right? And I know this is not an earnings play. This is with PayPal, so there's different news there. But the point is that you got to sort of sometimes let these high-flying stocks that can have a big spread, let them figure themselves out, and then we can hammer the long. We get stopped out there, we go triple long, and then you can see what happens the rest of the day, straight to the upside there. So, you know, a good trade for Affirm yesterday. We wind up getting out at 98 off of a 92 long. So let's see if we can do the same thing today. Arun, I don't know if you found any levels on Zoom other than that bottom side, but I think we can play a 300 break.
Yeah, you know, I was actually I was looking at Zoom on the short side. As I was shorting Apple, I was actually looking at Zoom. I'm like, oh man, that looks like a great short below 304. But the problem, this is what held me back. The fact that the stop on this would have to be at least 312.50, so $8.50. It was a pre-market and it's razor thin. So at that point, you kind of see the trade and you kind of walk away from a trade because it's just the risk on that trade is just ridiculous. So I'm going to say no to that. But 312.50 is still the level. Even though the stock has moved down to 296, 312.50 is still the level. So if we can actually get a much better risk profile for that same read from earlier, if we can get into the 306, 307, maybe even 308 and kind of stall out, I will still like to short this with a 312.50 stop and see if we can actually catch a better price. If 312.50 breaks, I think at that point you just got to go for the long, right? I mean, that's pretty, in my eyes, I'm going to see that as a pretty clear-cut long case.
Sorry, 3 what?
312. You were looking at
okay.
312. I'm looking at
312,
312.50. We're both looking at the same price. And if we break that to the upside, I think you've got to take a shot at the long on Zoom. But it does look like it's got some pressure.
But do we not try
296?
I was going to say, do we not try it a little bit earlier? Or are you just going to wait for that? Because like we're so far down. I don't know. Because if we get back to 312, that means we're basically heading back that 4, 5, 6% from here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to wait for the prices that I want to make trades at. If I was willing to take crazy risk, I would have taken the 304 short, which I wasn't going to do at that point. So for me, 312.50, either we're gonna short between 306 going on up to 312, or we're gonna go long above 312 at 312.50 and go for the long on Zoom. But it does look like we're not gonna make any of those moves because 296.50 is currently on deck on Zoom. Brendan?
Just looking at some analyst moves, as I mentioned, guys, there are multiple, both directions, in fact, analyst moves on Zoom this morning. I see right now 1, 2, 3, 4 at least that stand out, all to the downside as well. So either downgrades or price target cuts or a combination of both for Zoom. So speaking of what is moving around in the pre-market, guys, if you haven't done so, make sure you register for the absolutely free morning watch list. We send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. That's the link. If you need it again, Miss V will be more than happy to help you out with that in the chat. Let's talk about seeing as how we just discussed Zoom there. Let's go down to PayPal Holdings, guys. We had a big move, to say the least, in PayPal yesterday after they came out. It was CNBC, actually, that reported it first, saying that PayPal was exploring the idea of some sort of stock trading application or platform, either built into the one they already have or maybe separate altogether. So PayPal, definitely one to watch today.
Yeah, PayPal, I was actually looking at 288. Bang. The fact that it bounced right off of 288 kind of helps the case for the level that I had marked off. 288 even and change. 288, look at him. He's taking shots. Is he making money?
That was just a guy going upwards. So I mean, it has AMC on it, but it's talking about PayPal, yeah.
Yeah, the PayPal, yeah. Look at the move on PayPal yesterday, especially. What is that? 280 all the way up to 288 and change before we stabilized. We got as high as 290 something. Yeah, here we are, 288 and change. We're kind of consolidating a little bit. We're either going to break down through 288, go for the short with the 291 stop, or we're going to go for a long side break to the upside, 291 long with the 288 stop. Whichever one we go with, whichever direction this market wants to go or this stock wants to go, that's the direction I'm going to go. I'm open to both sides. I really don't care. I personally think, in any case, actually, in any stock, in any situation, the downside is always going to make you more money just because of how easy it is for stocks to go down. Obviously, to the upside, it takes buying pressure and buying volume and money to sustain it. Sell side, it doesn't take a whole lot. Bids just have to drop off and people just have to sell, and that's quite easy to do for when stocks start to fall and they accelerate, right? So I prefer the downside just because I feel like we have space and that can be easy money. Versus the upside, it may take some time. But 291 to the upside, 288 to the downside. I'm just going to wait for whichever way it wants to go. We'll go with it. So,
all right, I have to say this because this has been something, and it's this Nuvei stock, and it's just been absolutely amazing. I own this, NVEI, and again, it's a payment. I feel horrible because I know a lot of you are into PaySafe, and I bought these basically at the same time. I mean, I bought this even earlier because it came out before PaySafe did. And this is a Canadian, payment provider, wallets, digital, everything, this and that, transactions. And Canadian investor, I mean, a lot of you guys are US, so maybe you don't have Canadian accounts, but I'm glad Canadian investor, and I wish I knew your name. I don't know your name. You heard me talk about this months and months ago, and I guess I was keeping it as a hidden gem. But check out what Nuvei has done here in the Toronto market, the TSX. This is a payment provider. They've been having a huge move, man. And I cannot believe this is where I bought it. No word of a lie, and I think Canadian investor, this is why you're talking about it. I hope that you bought it with me right here on this pullback. I missed the IPO, but it pulls back in, and we bought it right at this level here, and it's just been an absolutely beast to the upside there. So it just sucks because honestly, I have more money in this than I do in PaySafe. The reason why is I don't have that many Canadian names other than banks, Enbridge. I'll talk about my Canadian portfolio if you want to at another time. But right now, let's talk a little bit about stock here in the U.S. Side of things. But look at PaySafe. It's gone absolutely the other way. Like, I don't even know what's going on with this name here. But again, PayPal and PaySafe. PayPal was my pick of 2020. I hope a lot of you hit that with us. I'm still long at that price, 108 or 105, whatever the price of PayPal was at that time. That was the pick of 2020. I love fintech ever since then. I'm hella long Square. Square was one of the biggest names I was buying on the dip down in March of 2020. So I have Square prints sub 50. So that's been a good ride as well. I'm very, very disappointed in PaySafe, and I apologize to everybody that's been following that one with me. Our last buy on this one was about $10, and I mean now it's down to 8. So yeah, right into here, right on this, and then crash down on their earnings. So this needs to get going. But look, PayPal, I don't know what else to say. If you're not in this name, I think you got to buy it. And I said to Arun today, I said PayPal's going right back up to 310, and he said 310. My charts were wrong, but it's not there now. But it's going to get there, and it's going to get there very, very soon. Just like when Facebook was at 350 2 weeks ago, I said that thing's going straight to 400, and I really feel that PayPal's doing the same thing. And this is not, by the way, going to be a triple top, because what's going to happen is it's going to get here, it's going to see this, and say see you later, and take that out as well. So look, I'm a huge buyer of PayPal at all these levels. I was buying down in here as well. I love the fintech space. I have no idea what the hell is going on with SoFi, with like I just said, PaySafe, some of these other beatdown names as well. I think it's oversaturated. We do have WonderFi coming on. There's been a lot of talk here with blockchain and things like that. But right now, fintech leads the way with a lot of different companies. ARK is buying up some of these companies as well. So you got to watch out, man. I mean, Kathy's been a big buyer of PayPal. It's just, there's a lot happening here. And if they're going to start to do stocks, Arun, I mean, then you have the whole platform again. Like, forget about Robinhood, forget about all this stuff. PayPal's going to handle your merchandise payments. They're going to handle your digital wallets for crypto. They're going to handle your stock buying. Basically, they are eliminating, in my opinion, the banks. And I mean, JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon clearly stated a couple months ago, I believe it was, I'm going to say it was the past winter. So let's say 9 months ago, that basically fintech is like the only thing that's in their way right now, because traditional banks are going to get squashed by some of this new technology. He said the biggest miss of his career was not grabbing Square when it was offered to him by Jack Dorsey. Now you're seeing what Square done. PayPal, Arun, was hidden in eBay for years, decades, okay? And then they unleashed PayPal, and now guess what? What do you think PayPal's market, sorry about putting you on the spot all the time. What do you think PayPal's market cap is compared to eBay?
I want to say at least twice as much, or I want to say, yeah, twice. No,
if you
no, not
times
even
that
more.
by 4, you would be right, okay?
times?
It's 8 times right now. And PayPal just continues to rock and roll. Obviously, I'm a buyer. It's on here. It's 290. There's a 290 break coming, and I just hope that it doesn't happen before the market opens. But I am going to go long on PayPal, 290, with some support back down here at 288. And if you really want to get spicy with it, guys, I mean, I want to hold this all the way back down here, 284, 285-ish. So I'm a long PayPal kind of guy today, and I don't think you can go wrong with it. I don't mind buying dips, and I don't mind taking breakouts. So let's go.
All right, guys, let's get it. I was actually just checking that, Sean. It's actually a little bit higher than 4, which is amazing. But yeah, a little bit closer to 5 times market caps there. Let's get a check of the overall market, Arun. We are almost to the end of the month here. One more session to go, as we've been saying. A 4-year record could be broken today. So we're talking about 7 months in a row to the upside for the S&P. The last time that happened was 2017, when it went 10 months in a row on the positive side.
The last, I want to say, maybe 18 months have just been a series of records, right? It's been an unusual, or different market, not unusual, but a different market to work with, especially with all the factors that are in play. And the market is correspondingly reacting correspondingly. Here we are, the futures. We're down, we're pretty much flat on the day. We're down not even 0.1% at the moment. We're down 4 points on the S&P 500. Here's the way I'm looking at this. The fact that we were setting up around, remember late in the session I was talking about, 35, 45, 35 seems to be a consolidation of some sort, and we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with this. The fact that we broke this in the pre-market session or the overnight session and then failed to hold it, and it wasn't just a fail to hold, it was a sustained selling from about 2 o'clock, which would correspond with the European session, 2 to 3 o'clock, and it's just been a straight sell since that point in time. And they took out the lowest point, which was around 45.25, 45.24, call it. So at that point, when you have a breakout to new highs, which completely gets failed, especially with the driven selling that we saw across Europe, at least around the European time in these futures, I went for the short as soon as I came in. So you see me on the short side. I was short around 45.25. Actually, I have 45.25 on the shorts. For anyone who's wondering why it's not up there, we don't put it up there because it takes up too much space. The entire symbol thing is like 6 characters plus the extension, so 8, 9 characters. So it just takes up way too much space on the position board, so we just decided to take that off. I'll talk about the positions I have, though, on the futures, if I take any. And right now, I've still got some. So I took 45.25 on the short side. I was looking for this hesitation here. You see around 18 and change. First target, right? I was risking about 5 points, so why not set the target about 6, 7? Got about 7. I got out in front of 18 and 17 and 17.75 and change. About half of it is out. We are on 2 separate exits. Let me bring this to a 1-minute chart here. So half of it is out across 2 separate exits across the 18 and the 17.5 area. And now what do? We're going to hold the rest. It came all the way back, almost all the way back. We're just going to wait for this now. We've already made profit on this. Even if this stops me out, we're going to come out ahead. So what do? We set some more targets. I've got 12 to 13 as the next target. And then if we get underneath 10, I think you can argue maybe 6, 7 as one of the further targets as well. But for now, we are sitting on the short side. We are short Apple. We are short the future. So it looks like I'm going to be leaning heavy into the index stocks at the moment on the short side. How is that going to play out? Makes me a little uncomfortable, but at the same time, I mean, the charts are the charts. We'll just go with it. And it does look like there's going to be some downside pressure, at least to open with. And it looks like Apple's actually falling off too. This kind of helps the case, right? Because Apple's like a big portion of these indexes. So the fact that Apple wants to kind of stall out here kind of helps the case. If Apple were to bounce, I think you're going to see all these positions go out of the money fairly quickly. But for now, it does look like there's some sell side pressure.
All right, guys, let's continue along here. Sean and I were just discussing some math here early in the morning. Yeah, it's actually 6.7, Sean, which is the total. So it's eBay versus PayPal, which is insane still, but huge numbers for both. Let's continue along here, guys, with what is happening this morning. Robinhood markets. The next one, we'll talk about Hood under pressure. Thanks, V. Robinhood markets under a little bit of pressure once again this morning. We talked about the SEC comments yesterday saying that the pay for order flow still on the table, or the banning of payment for order flow still on the table, which kicked off that selling yesterday.
Yeah, we had a couple hood trades there yesterday, and you can see, we were short. It didn't wind up, we were basically flat on it. I mean, we just got too excited here thinking that this pullback was going to create this move, and then of course it happens after market, and it happens this morning. But I wrote down hood on here, and I just wrote down that it's in trouble with PFOF news, which is pay for order flow. So not a stock. If you saw that on here, that's what I mean. It's a little bit messy. And then PayPal. So I think they have double barrel shotgun action for the negative side for Robinhood today. Obviously, we saw what happened when PayPal came out and announced their news yesterday with the stock. I think it was about midday here. Robinhood started to fall off. And then, of course, they get that news here about the pay for order flow possibly being back on the table. I don't think, look, the lobbyists in Wall Street are way too huge on the financial side to let this happen. I believe anyways in Washington, so I don't think pay for order flow is going anywhere, but there was some support here. I guess resistance turns into support, but $44, it seems like we bounced off there. We were able to grab some of these shorts, and then now, of course, this is the thing. People, I saw in the chat here, are we financial advisors? No, we're simply day traders, and that's the problem sometimes with some of these calls, because these are shorts, and it would be cashed in today for $2, right? I mean, we could make this 3%. No problem if we just had held that, but we weren't able to. We have to be flat at the end of every day. So all of the trades that Arun and myself and Brendan, even Valeria are taking are all covered by 4 o'clock, right? And so this move happens, and then there it goes to the downside. We bounce a little bit off 41. If you want to talk about a day's range here, we can zoom back out. We know that Robinhood just had its birthday, just IPO'd. So, we're already below this key level, which is why I was shorting this, 42.60. That's right where we're back to right now. So that bottom of 41.60 could come into play again, and I believe it does. So I'm going to short Robinhood until we get, I'm going to put an offer in this area, 43.40, 43.50. Let's go short here and see if we want to take out this 44. If it takes out 44, I'm still not going to cover. I want to get a little bit more aggressive and then watch about some of these levels here where we started to break to the downside, which would be 45. So again, we'll short it in here somewhere. We'll average in around 44. We'll put on a bigger trade up here at 45. And then, hey, if we're wrong and somehow Robinhood wants to turn back up, then I think that we've had news come out against us, and that would be the story, because I can't see right now too many green shoots for Robinhood, especially as the market's going to turn negative today. We've had a couple big days, and they're starting to head back to the downside. Okay, the only thing I could say about them is we've had a nice move in Ethereum. We've had some trading on some of these altcoins as well, and that could, provide some more revenues. As we know, Robinhood crushed it with Dogecoin trading. 38% of their crypto money was from Dogecoin, going from basically 0 to 50 cents. So, I mean, that's going to create a lot of hype behind them as well. What are you seeing on Robinhood, Arun? I'm going to be a shorter up to 45.
I agree with you. I'm going to say I'm going to be a short all the way up to 44. So
Yeah.
we're in the same line. We're looking at potential resistance between 43 going on up. I'll say 44. I was thinking short earlier, but I mean, do I want to pay up the risk at 42 and a half? Not just yet. I mean, let's see how much action we get above 43 before we go for the short. But 40. Actually, you know what? No, that's a lie. Sorry. I was going to say for shorts up to 43 and a half, 43 up to 44. But the issue is that I have to pay for shorts. For anyone who was watching last week, I refused to pay for shorts. And the one time I paid for shorts, I was all over SPRT. So I'm not paying for shorts. You have to get, I don't know what the cost of shorts are in Hood, but if you are looking at shorts there, Sean, you may want to go ahead and price in some locates at the moment. But for anyone who's willing to pay for shorts, 43 going up to 44, that would be the read for the short play if you are looking in that direction.
Okay.
Me, on the other hand,
so it's 1 cent a share.
1 cent a share typically means we have free shorts.
I think it's not free right now. I just tried it, but it may open it up. I think I'm just going to get, do you want 100 shares?
No. I don't want, I'm good. I'm not paying for anything.
That would cost you $1.
No, that's
okay.
I'm going to want more than, if that's the problem, I'm going to want more than that. And then
I know. I just thought for fun you might want that.
I'm going to spend, yeah, it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
I'll put that
right
money
now
in the futures whenever I need it. So I refuse to pay that.
I think it's good talk. Forget about if you want it or not. Doesn't matter. I do think that you have to focus on where you're making the most money, right? Whether or not that be shorting Robinhood, trading the futures, looking at PayPal, looking at Apple, you know, and don't get caught up. And we talk about this all the time in FOMO and things like that, right? So some of these names are going to be great names to trade, but if you don't have experience trading them, you don't have to do it. And then not only that, even a cent per share, like Arun said, imagine you want to take 10,000 shares. That does, you know, that $100, like that's going to add up at the end of the day, right? And at the end of the month. If you're doing that every single day, then you're going to have a bill of $1,500, $2,000, and God forbid you lose on the trade, you're going to be even more upset, okay? But that just goes to show, again, trade preparation. I just tried to short Robinhood and realized I couldn't, okay? So I need to go in to our system now, fork out the dough, and put up, I mean, 1 cent for me, I mean, I'm going to try to make more than that on the trade. So for me, that's fine. So I'm going to pay that price. It's like 1.18 cents. So we're going to pay that price. We're going to get short on Robinhood. But if I didn't test the order out, then I wouldn't know that I'd have to pay for shorts. Then when the trade came around, we wouldn't have it, like you were talking about last week. So I think for trade preparation, Brendan, that's a very, very key point. Make sure that if you guys are looking to trade Robinhood today, just ask your broker or try to put out and what I did was just put out an offer like at $45 right now, because I'm not going to get filled. We're going to see if it, you know, it rejected. So now I can go in there, get the shorts, and we can move on. So that's just a little bit of advice there on trade preparation. Make sure you have the shortable shares if it's a shortable idea.
Arun, you'll be happy to know as well, support.com is on sale today as far as shorts. I think I paid 45 cents today for SPRT. So it was, what was it last week? I think it was like...
I paid 66 cents.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was like,
you know what is crazy? Neil paid 11 cents. He bought it 2 hours before I did, though. Yeah, that was the difference.
Timing is key for shorts.
Yep.
Neil's so smart.
Let's carry on. BOBA, guys, we spoke about it if you joined us out of the gate this morning at 8:30. As we said, now 3.3% back to the upside. China came out this morning and said they're going to crack down further on e-commerce tech companies specifically. Trying to get rid of some IP problems of certain goods being sold maybe that are not necessarily authentic. So BOBA saying, yeah, okay, bring it on.
Right, around 170, that was the mark that both Sean and I were looking at. So, I mean, we've already gone over BOBA, but I do want to talk about one stock that somebody in the chat put up. I was like, Snow. Sean, this is one of your stocks that you love.
Yeah.
Snow, they just said, oh, take a look at Snow. I'm like, okay, let's take a look at Snow. Wow, okay, 296 is kind of staring you in the face here. If you can break 296, I think you have a real good chance to break down. On the upside, though, I mean, it's kind of 300 is right up top. So we're kind of wedged in here between 296 and 300. And it seems like, given how we've been trading, if we break out either end, you could actually go for the trade, the long off 300 or the short down or the short break through 296 and change. So Snow is now one of those things that I'm looking at. We've talked about BOBA, so I'm now adding Snow onto the list as well. Guys, thank you for putting that up in the chat.
Yeah, Snow. Okay, I call them Baby Palantir. We love data. We love all that stuff. So that is going to be Snow for sure. Okay, good. I did get my pay for shorts there. When does the book come out, Pro Day Trader? I'm not writing any books. I don't have enough time to do that, so we won't be doing that. And is the best trader here is Brendan, so I think we can admit that. So that's fine. And then just answering some of these questions on here. Yeah, Snow is definitely a long-term hold there. We've seen what happened with crap. I forget the company that he took public before. Hold on, I got to fix my screen here. Okay, there we go. Okay, we'll talk about what were we talking about? Alibaba. We've already talked about Alibaba a little bit today, but some of their IP concerns there. That to me is a good sign that the Chinese government's just basically going to crack down on that. Come on, charts.
What happened?
So I'm completely fine with that. I think up 3%. It has nothing to really do with that. I mean, it does have to do with that news, obviously. But I like Alibaba. I like it through 170. We talked about this earlier. It just has to hit right here through 170. We'll trade at 170 because it's a key level. I was trying to find some more levels on Alibaba for us, and I wasn't. I mean, this is the 170 right here, the high back from a couple days ago. Back on the 25th, we hit 170 before dropping. Then we tried to get back there to 169. Drop. Awesome opportunities to buy last week in the 150 area, and now you're rocking and rolling. And I think Alibaba, the doomsday are done. This has always been the play to me. I thought that the Chinese government and some of the big funds were hammering down some of these Chinese names just because they could and because the news was there, because the story was there. But right now, I mean, what's going to happen when China starts releasing some of their numbers and you're seeing their economy growing and you're going to be seeing, you know, Alibaba putting up big quarters, I believe. I don't think online shopping or retail is done by any stretch of the imagination. So we're going to wait to see here with Alibaba. I like it. I like the long through 170. So I'm going to put the order in to go with that, and we'll see if it takes off from here. I'm a little bit nervous about the market. The name I do like, though, as we continue to go, is going to be NIO. We really like NIO today. We traded it yesterday. You could see we had to wait. I mean, we turned positive on it just at the end of the day. We bought the dips like we always do, man, and we had to hold this against those 70 cents. But then it started coming right back, and we started emptying out the purse, and we wound up getting basically flat on the stock all the way back to the upside. It looks like if we would have held all the way, we would have made money, but at the same time, we weren't sure about this. So today, this is a 7-minute chart. We'll look to see. I think we could take it out up here. I wrote down 38.50, which is right here, to see if we can pass all of this garbage and go back to the upside. But we've fell back down a little bit, so we're going to try to buy some more dips today on NIO, but we got to be very, very careful with it. Let's not start it too early. Let's start these dip buyings around 37 even if we can and see if we hold yesterday's 36.60 bid. But I like NIO better than Alibaba a little bit today if we can get that dip back down to 37, but I do like an Alibaba 170 break, guys.
Yeah, before we go back to Brendan, I got one stock where I believe we're going to get to this as well. ACIU. It is just absolutely on fire. I actually had this long for a little bit above 50, and I did not like what I was seeing. A lot of these stocks you can't really trade based on the chart. You got to kind of base it on the volume you're seeing. So I kind of went long, and then I'm like, oh man, I may be in trouble. There's a lot of resistance up there, a lot more volume than I expected. It did not do what I wanted to do, so I kind of moved out of the way, and you see it taking off. Though once it gets going, though, it is gone. It just took out 13 even. We were as low as 12.20, and then a couple minutes later, here we are taking 13. Now we're sitting above 12.50. If there's still strength there, I might just come back in and see if we can't get that long again. If this falls right back through, I think you may have to worry about some longs. The longs may be in trouble if this comes right back through 12 again. So ACIU, guys, 81% up, almost $6 on the day, and it is aggressive. If you want excitement, there you go.
Yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to mention ACIU. That's positive Alzheimer's related data, guys. So definitely a positive stock, 1250, a monster level. I want to make sure support.com on the list again today, looking a little bit weak currently. Let's talk about Virgin Galactic, though. I want to make sure we get to space, guys. It was Jefferies initiating coverage on space today with a buy rating and a $33 price target. So up here in the pre-market.
Space.
Yeah, I don't mind space. I don't mind Virgin Galactic. I mean, if you want to try to trade something that has a chance to go. I love when, you know, companies get beat down basically and then finally start to get an upgrade. So this is a 7-minute chart, but I want to go to the daily chart here just to show you. I mean, hopefully Virgin Galactic's not a new name for a lot of you. It's been trading great, and then we've sort of stalled right now. So this is where I'm talking about this upgrade now coming through, right? You know, no surprise that when you get this little bit of a base here, you know, you get that upgrade so they can see, because I bet you Jefferies, some of their clients and whatnot started to get long down here, noticing some of these bottoms. And if I zoom it back out, you know, coinciding with this little jump up right there. So, you know, we do have this level of $24 looking pretty sweet. So I like Virgin Galactic here on any sort of a dip back into 25-ish would be super nice. That's where I have my bids, because yesterday we did get some support down here at 24.75. So for me, I'm a buyer of Virgin Galactic. Let's wait to see. Right now, this is what we call barcoding. I have a feeling like if I don't know. I mean, could we take out the top here? Maybe we will. You know what? We'll buy 25.75 off open. Okay, so if it breaks through, we'll buy it, but we'll buy it small because, again, this could come back in, and if it does, we want to be a buyer down here at 25. And if you're going to be a long-term hold on this, I think you could just buy it right off the open. I don't think you really need to matter because, again, I'm going to use 24, like you go a little bit lower, 23.50 or so as an out. So even if you buy now, it's $2 worth of risk on 25. So you're risking about like 7 or 8%, and, you know, and I think you can get back to the 50 period, which is up to $34. So for me, the risk is here on a risk-reward basis for Virgin Galactic. I like the dip buys into today, but I also do like a little small buy off the open. One thing we haven't done, though, Arun, yet is look at the imbalances for the open. And let's just have a quick look here. NASDAQ's coming out at 928, so right now, nothing. But Alibaba, so basically it's Chinese names. And I'm not ignoring everybody that's saying AMC to the moon and all that stuff on our chat, and I see all you guys. But honestly, I trade action, and right now, although it's done 1 million shares, there isn't much happening on AMC right here, but I will talk just a little bit. Yesterday, if you could see, we had these great longs off 41, 41 again, all the way up to 43, $2 winner right there. Now you're going to open up a little bit higher today. So for me, you have some areas of concern in here, but I do like a 44.50 long on AMC. I'm going to lock and load that for today, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at space going, what do you do with this? Because we're above that 25 and change mark that allows you to potentially go for the long. Now we're consolidating, and you've got resistance up near 26. So risk reward wise, it's kind of tough. So I'm not sure what to make of this. So I'm going to kind of stay away from space. Guys, just to put things in perspective, ACIU has come back through that 50 mark, that 1250 and change. It's stalling out a little bit. So I have actually, like I said, I wanted to see how strong we were going to be. If we weren't going to be strong, I'm going for the short. It becomes a much bigger problem. So here I am short just underneath. You see my price, 45, I think, 1245 is what I've got on ACIU to the sell side. And here we go, 25, 30 cents, and accelerating 30 cents, 40 cents. So you see the downside pressure, and it gets going. When it gets moving to the downside, even to the upside, we saw it through 13, but this is something we were watching, right? 1250, it was kind of holding. It was coming in. They let it go a little bit through 13, and now they're bringing it back down through 12. So that's the kind of read you got to make on these stocks. You got to be fast. You got to be watching the tape, and charts, they're not going to really help you at this point. Brendan's at the big screen with one of the stocks we got to look at as well.
Yeah, another one from the list this morning, guys. RHE, little teeny tiny real estate investment trust. Coming back into a bit of an area on the daily chart. This 13 level was essentially the exact middle of this range from the daily chart where it topped out this morning, you can see. But above that, 1450 and then 15 is really the top end of that range. It's already breaking down here. It sat at 11 for a period of time, then 11 let go as support goes straight through to 1050. So if we do get a pop back into 11, watch that. 1150 was that last kind of pivot high above that, but above 1150, a lot of room on RHE, guys.
So what is, maybe you guys can help me here on the chat, Corsair, CRSR. I love Corsair. It's one of those meme stocks again. It's not, but it's talked about on Reddit and Wall Street Bets and things like that. But Corsair right now up another 5%. Maybe, Brendan, did I miss something here on Corsair? I know it was traded yesterday. Some big moves yesterday, obviously down 27 and a nice little spike up there. Maybe they got some sort of a deal, but they've been ripping nicely over the last little bit there, and I'm embarrassed about it. Again, just back from vacay. So if there's some moves, yeah, see, like, so it was last week there, getting off the bottom now. Now you're breaking this 50-period moving average. The reason why I like this at 30, guys, look at this, 30, 30, 30. The 30's all in here, and that break started this bump back down to 25, 26. So again, a relatively new name here, IPO name, started at 14, ripped up to 50, came back in all the way back down to 25. So gave you that 100% retracement all the way back, well, 50%, I guess, from the high, all the way back down to $25. And now we're looking to double up again back to 50. So I like Corsair through 29.80. But yeah, I don't know. Good products, solid company here. Looks like it wants to bounce back. I don't know if it would make sense if ARK was buying this as well, or Microsoft, something happening there with Corsair. But right now, the market's starting to pop upside. So you're probably going to see like a Facebook starting to run. Yeah, baby, 280. Our last buy on that one was 350. That's when we tweeted that out. So I like Corsair, but I like Facebook as well. Let's take Corsair. I already have it locked and loaded. And I just want to review a couple things here before we go. So Corsair breaking through 30. I like Alibaba if it breaks, because we only have 2 minutes now. I like Alibaba on a 170 break. I'm not sure about dip buys on Alibaba, because it's just that I don't know if the Chinese story is over yet. We talked about that. Virgin Galactic, just real quick, guys. About to take out the high. I want to be involved in that. So that's going to be good. AMC, what's up, Rob? Hopefully Rob's having a good time there. 44.50, which he always is, which is great. That's the best thing about our team. Very, very positive. 44.50 now, ripping to the upside. We're going to take AMC long. I'm just talking about some of these orders that we have in. NEO, what's the plan of action on this one? Dip by NEO back to 37 there. We'll get you on camera in a minute there, Rob. Don't worry. 38.50 ripping to the upside. We're waiting for that one. That's about it. So, 5 or 6 names that I have on watch, and we are. What about PayPal? We are looking at PayPal as well, guys.
Yeah, one I'm looking at. You see my position position in ACIU. It's starting to work out fairly well, so we're going to let that go into the open. The open's going to be fairly aggressive.
PayPal
So I've
ripped
got
through
some
290
bids out.
already.
I've got some bids out in front of 1130. See if we can't get out, sitting on some support there, at least for some of the shares. You see Apple, you see the market. The market's at 45.26, bouncing on up. It looks like the imbalances, the NASDAQ imbalances did come out positive. So you see Apple bouncing back up as well. I mean, I kind of expected that. I've already kind of hedged some of this through the futures profit taking and whatnot. So we're going to hold Apple. The 50-cent risk is still going to be in play, and see if I can actually add more to the futures. Given that we've gotten some out, we're down to half. Let's maybe step in, see how we read inside this 25 area, if we can't grab some more or add back to the position to get back to full size. But for now, we are sitting on one long, one short, and the futures on the short side as well. As I say, that's crazy. Microsoft taking off to new highs as well. Well, 304 or 450. So we are moving to the upside on Microsoft. So that might be something you want to watch. Sean, we are 15 seconds away from the bell.
I got it. I hit it, guys. I hit it. So we're ready to go. Ready to rock and roll. We're actually on the right time right now. Yeah, Microsoft taking out levels. We just got long. Hit it, Valeria. 2 and 1. We are long Virgin Galactic right now. Oh, yeah. A little bit of music. Nice tunes there, Ms. V. As we start to go to the upside right now with Virgin. So we're long at 25.80. Let's see where this one wants to scream to. I like this call. Unfortunately, well, though, there goes Microsoft. Open, obviously. PayPal as well. Man, we had 290 pegged, man, on our system here. We missed the 290, and now, obviously, it's at 292 and change. There goes AMC. We are now long AMC at 44.50. So let's see where that goes. We had some resistance up here. 45.25. First target, 45.25 on AMC, guys.
Yeah, okay, so I've taken care of ACIU. I just wanted to see what the open looked like, and the open wasn't favorable for my short at the time. I'm going to walk away. You know what? I got to cancel the order that was sitting there. It may still go, and it looks like it's going to go now. But I mean, like, this is one of those stocks that you kind of just step into and then walk out of the way. PayPal, yeah, I am trying to get my hands on PayPal, but I'm bidding my way in. Are you already in on PayPal?
Yeah, we're just spinning this already, guys, because look at Virgin Galactic, a nice move upside right now. 50 cents to the upside, Virgin Galactic. Sorry, nice win there. AMC, bang, bang, and bang on AMC. So let's go. One more time for you. Bang. There goes AMC. Great runner to the upside there. Thank you to the viewers for that one. And let's go PayPal, man. Right now, 290. We're long flat. So that's the trade that we like. We'll take out a little bit at 291. Man, this day is going great. It's great to be back. What up, fam?
All right, we got PayPal. We're sitting at 290 half. 291.05 is where we're long on PayPal. I'm with Sean. Remember, we were talking 291 or 288, whichever direction we go with PayPal, that's the direction, or whichever direction PayPal broke, that's the direction we're going to go. So the risk on this is about $3. And you see Apple taking off now, 90 cents in the money, taking the market with it.
Look at the market.
Yeah, the market's going, our target on Apple is sitting just in front of 151 and change. So, hey, we're looking for $1.50, $1.60 or 70 or something like that. We're going to leave the order there. We have the feature short. We have the Apple short. That's working out. PayPal is 50 cents out.
It'll work.
ACIU's kind of flirting with a 12, so I'm not even too bothered. I did make like a few cents on the second exit there on ACIU, so we're going to leave that alone. What else do we have? CRSR broke 30. I was looking at 30 long on CRSR. The stop on that is going to be sitting just below 29.50. I'm going to go ahead and put a bid down on CRSR. See if we can. We missed the entry. There's so much happening on my screen, so we definitely missed the entry. So we're going to put the bid down. You see the, where's the bid? Right here. No, I don't have it up here. But CRSR, I'm sitting in front of 30. See if we can grab the long, put up about 50, 60 cents in risk on CRSR. And see if we can get the breakout. I know everyone, we were talking about it. The chat was talking about it. So now we're going to.
CRSR here.
You got it up?
Yeah, we have the trade. So we're long through 30 on CRSR. This is why we review our trade before, guys. And look, I apologize. People saying it was a lot quieter last week. But hey, I know it was. But were the winners there? I don't know. I wasn't watching. But we're going to go 4 for 4 right now off the open. And I apologize if getting excited. I mean, we're winning and it's going up. And it's a fun thing for me. So let's just keep on going now with Corsair. I mean, and I'm just happy to give people winners as well. I mean, here's Corsair. If you're long with me, that's $30. It's now at $30.75. So here we go again with some nice wins, right? So here we go, man. And I don't, people love I kind of, look, it's not that I take things personally, I kind of do, but I'm trying to do the best for everybody here, and I hope it can. And on that note, if you don't like the energy, then close your damn ears, because right now it's backflip time. Let's go, Arun. Here we go. PayPal to the upside right now. Hey, how does $2 sound for you guys, right? There's 290 up to 290, 250, and we're going to even go higher. How does AMC sound for everybody today as well? Off this long, 44.50, out 45.20. That's not too bad. What about space? Am I too loud about space, guys? 25.75 up to 26.20. Hopefully I'm not too loud about that either. But we're getting ready to go. Here we go, guys. Thank you for the love on the chat. Let's just keep on going with it, man. I mean, I'm having some fun here, and I hope you guys are as well. Let's just keep the momentum to the upside and find some more trades. What is going on with NEO right now? Okay, that's starting to rip. Watch out for 38.50. I love 38.50, guys. But right now, I'm loving what's happening. PayPal, we maybe should have got some out. We were out at 2/3 already. Out there, 291. It's $1.50. We'll watch out for that 293 level. But Arun, if the futures start taking off, I think some of these longs have a hell of a lot more energy than we think.
Well, yeah, if the futures turn, you're going to see some stocks turn. But hey, you know, for me right now, because I am short the futures, this is helping my case. The fact that Apple's going down while PayPal's going up, PayPal doesn't have as big as of a weight in the index as, say, Apple does. But the fact that they're going in opposite directions gives me money on the long and the short side and the future side. So hey, we're making money across the board. And me and Sean, I just looked over and I wanted to see what price Sean has on his PayPal long. He's got 290.02. I'm a full dollar behind this guy on this long. But we are waiting. We both see the read. We both want the long. So we are looking for the upside, $3 risk on that trade. We are waiting for that. CRSR just came in.
Yeah. You know.
I'm going to, like I said, I still wanted the long in front of 30. So you see me long 30, 11.69. That's such a weird price. That's a weird average price. But yeah, 30. Oh, there we go. We got the full 30 and a half. 30.05 is the long. 50-cent risk, just below 29.5. It looks like they just took 30, so this might be a quick loser. But everything else, PayPal's turning around as well. Everything's going all over the place at the moment. You see PayPal spinning around quite a bit here. Again, $3 risk, guys. We're not going to get too caught up in this. We know what we want to do with this, so we'll put up the risk and see if we can get the money off of that. So PayPal there, and Apple's still there, and futures now below 20. So again, I've actually got some orders out. I'm sitting out in front of 15 and in front of 12 and change, so around 12 to 13. I've got a couple more exits waiting for me, so you may see me get some more exits here. You may see more green arrows pop off as we go lower. But for the moment, there goes CRSR. That was a quick hit on CRSR, and PayPal spinning around. Okay, so you know what you're going to have to do? We're going to have to spin this and start focusing on some big tech names because...
Short.
Yeah, to the short side, because it does look like the index wants to go, so why not focus on the index and see if you can join the index with the stocks. Apple seems to be working out, so I was kind of hesitating with Apple, but for now, we are going to spin this and kind of focus more on NVIDIA, AMD, and some more tech-heavy names. Brennan, what's up?
We mentioned this Yandex and Uber story this morning, guys. Yandex is ripping right out of the gate, just broke 75 there. All-time highs, 4 days in a row for that YNDX.
On PayPal. Okay.
Yeah, what's up to Kirill Furshine? I remember when he was on our show talking about Yandex, and we didn't really know too much about Yandex, but that's YNDX is absolutely ripping. We take a little bit more out right now, so we'll just, I don't know what we'll do here. Let's just line up the money. Where's my money stacking thing here? Because that's what we're doing. We are holding some of these to the downside, but we have emptied out. There it is. We have emptied out a lot of these trades. Oh, wow. AMC. Yo, what up, AMC? All the way back to 45.60 right now? Okay, so we still have decent position on, man. We emptied some out at 45, 45.20. Here goes AMC right back to yesterday's high. Crazy not to look at this and take some out, I think. We've already been up here yesterday and faded back down. So AMC right now worth a look here to take some out at this high side. So let's do that right now. If we can get like a 30 or 29, something like that, we put an offer right here. See if we can get that. It's a little bit more of a bump up and we'll be out of our, there it is. Yes, sir. I mean, we're not out, but let's hit the home run. Thank you again. This is why we love the community. I know we always say that, but like, AMC was a great trade there, and thank you guys for pumping that a little bit. And you know, I took it off the break. I mean, that was all that it was. We talked about 45 yesterday right here, right? Some resistance, some dips, and then a takeoff, dip here, resist, some consolidation, and then a bang to the upside on the morning time. So yesterday's trade of the day was AMC, and today's, I mean, right here, here's, how about $1 on AMC for everybody? Good trade there. Space 70 cents in the money as well. Let's maybe reload on PayPal. Give it to us, Brendo.
Quick shout out to the guys at WonderFi coming up at 10:30. Pretty impressive start here in Toronto, guys. WNDR on the NEO exchange, straight higher, 150 approaching $2 now for WonderFi.
Another trade I just saw that just set up for me, FUTU to the upside, 95.50 gone. So why not take a shot at the 95.50 long? You see my bid here. I've got the stop just below 94 and change. So, man, it's sitting about 30 cents on the bid away from where my entry is. But given how thin the stock is, we're going to wait for that. I'm also seeing mRNA come up on my radar here. We were looking at mRNA earlier. I was thinking 380. We broke 380. What do we do to the upside? It has been consolidating. So now we got to figure out what the risk is. I actually just saw this come up. So I'm trying to analyze the risk on this trade. Oh, man. It's going to have to be at least 10 bucks. Okay. Can I make 10 bucks? That's one of those questions you got to figure out. I'm not going to pay 380, but I think we may be able to get 378, 377. We'll wait for this to come back down. I don't feel comfortable paying 380 for mRNA, but that's a trade there on the long side as well. AAL was another one. I know, Sean, you were talking about LUV, another airline earlier today. AAL taking out 1975 and change. I was looking at potential longs just above here, around 1975 and change. If we can stabilize above there, we kind of cracked it, came back in. We're going to wait for this to stabilize. I think if we get that shot, we can actually go for the long on AAL. And as I'm talking, FUTU is just completely gone at this point. It's almost at $97, a full $1.50 away from where I want to get in. Just an update with PayPal. It is coming back in, but I'm also now considering what to do if this fails. I would like, actually, if this were to fail, I would spin this trade around and go for the short, take the hit on the long, but then the short actually opens up with a failed breakout. I think that could actually be fairly lucrative if we were to get that short. But obviously, you don't want to lose money, but I mean, if it happens, be prepared for what your next move is in this case. So be prepared. I'm prepared to go for the short. Future is still working 18.75, 20. So we're below 20, working the lows, trying to get back down to 16. Again, I'm trying to cash out on the move. I'll cash out in pieces along the way down. We kind of held this way all the way back up. Maybe I should have picked up some more, but I mean, I didn't see enough up in the 25s to grab more at that point. But hey, we're going to ride this train all the way back down. But for now, FUTU gone through 97. We've got Apple still working, 86 cents in the money, and it looks like PayPal's coming back in. So we may have to find some new trades to fill this gap here.
Yeah, that PayPal thing, the problem was, I mean, I just averaged in there, and unfortunately, it went right back into the money for us, but now it's coming back to the downside. The thing about all these stocks, guys, is if you're going to trade something, you got to watch out for the NASDAQ. And I mean, Arun's talked about that. We're starting to break to the lower side now, so some of these shorts need to be taken into consideration. You can't just trade blind. And I mean, if you're going to learn something, hopefully from us anyways, that, you know, you got to be able to watch out for the market and watch what's happening on some of these names. And you can't just go one way only, and you got to watch out for the market. And so that's something that we are looking at right now. But we do got a new position alert, and that's going to be NIO, as that looks like it wants to go now. So NIO taking out that level that I'm a little bit... Okay, so we're long at 52. That's fine. I like the trade. But again, one of the problems here is the fact that the market is coming back to the downside, but NIO's still blowing to the upside. So we'll take a little piece off. Let's see if NIO wants to go now. Hopefully now it can. If the market does reverse, man, oh yeah, there's my daily chart not working. So if the market does reverse on NIO here, I think we got a nice little win. So this is a decent sized position. We talked about liking NIO through 38.50. So there's the trade, new trade on right now. AMC $1.20 now in the money. Good trade there. Space, man. I mean, sorry for my excitement again, but let's just go, man. We'll explode some money on Virgin Galactic all the way up. This is $1 in the money there. So yeah, we talked about why we liked it. We talked about on the daily chart, we had some consolidation. Then you get an upgrade. That's one of my favorite trades. Give it to him, Brendan.
Yeah, I just saw that space at day highs. Here's another one, Viacom. Absolutely ripping, guys. We'll double check on ViaC, but a nice look here, 2% for Viacom.
All right, I'm still waiting on PayPal. We are out of PayPal below 288, but now I'm just waiting to make sure that I actually want to go for the short. I'm almost there. There's a little bit of buying that's concerning me, but I do want to potentially go short on PayPal if we can stay below this 288. That was the read, right? It was either 288 shorts or 291 longs. We went for the long, and then it kind of just spun right back around. I'm out. But now potentially going to spin this trade around, see if we can't get that move. Future's still kind of holding near the low, so we're going to wait for that, see if we can accelerate on the downside with PayPal. Another stock that while we're waiting on PayPal, Netflix. Netflix was, I was looking at Netflix around that 562 area. It's one of those, it's the only stock that I actually trade that's above $500. And the reason is because I can actually somewhat get a read on Netflix and its time of sales and its trading volume. So it got into this support area, and I was looking, oh man, you know what? Maybe we can catch a bounce off of this area. It did catch a bounce, but now we got to figure out what the risk is. I think the risk is, at this point is about 560. I'm not going to pay $6 for Netflix, but I was looking for that 563, 564 potential long there on PayPal. So just be aware there is a potential setup on the long side for Netflix as well. Brendan, what's up?
Heads up on RHE. Very, very tiny float, guys, just halted to the upside. So watch out if you are on the short side, as I am. Could be a problem. 12, the next stop for RHE.
All right, I'm also going to take some profit on Apple, stalling out in front of 52. Obviously, we wanted 51s. The market's going to do what it wants to do. So here it is, stalling out in front of 52. So we're going to step in, take out some. We got half the position out, and we got 71 cents on Apple on the first exit. See if we can ride this a little bit further. I'm also going to tighten up. Nope, I'm not going to tighten up. I was thinking about tightening up the stop on the futures just to lock in some more profit. But you know what? This is the area we're going to kind of play this game, we're going to give the stock or the futures the opportunity to play this game. We've already cashed them out in this zone. I need it to go down to the next zone before I start cashing out more. So for now, we're going to leave this alone. If we need to take a hit on the remaining half of this position, I'll still come out ahead. So I'm fine with that. This read is fine with me. It is stalling out a little bit. It could become a problem, but for now, we are going to leave the futures alone and see if we can actually get a move to the downside. And look at PayPal. Okay, back above 288 into the 289s. We're still waiting. I got out. It looks like maybe I got squeezed, or not, like punched out on a stop. And then now here we are bouncing right off the top. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit more. I'm looking to spin this trade, not just yet though, but we are looking at potential shorts on PayPal. What else do we have? Facebook popped off on my radar as well. What did Facebook do? Oh yes, highs. See, this is one of those index stocks that you want to play with because it was on a run yesterday, stalled, kind of went sideways in the afternoon in pre-market, kind of broke down through 380 and then broke above 382. Let's get back above 382 and you're going to see me long in Facebook again. See if we can extend this to the upside. It'll be crazy though. I'll be long Facebook and short the futures and short Apple. So, you know, you're playing a dangerous game when you start playing against some index stocks and you're hedging out with them futures contracts. But we'll play that game. I've done it before, so we'll keep on doing that and see if we can make some money there. Brendan, what's up?
1847 Godecker, which is a home furnishing little one. This one's, well, it's not too little, 292 million market cap. Up here nicely, guys, just popping up on a volume scanner once again. They appointed a new CEO today for GOED.
Oh, I just didn't have I wanted to cancel that. Damn it. Oh, NEO, straight to the upside. So that's going to be a big trade for me, man. It was a big one. A lot of shares there for NIO for me. So we'll run that to the upside on the 38.50 break. Now it's starting to go, guys. So let's hold this as much as we can on NIO. Good trades there. Good trade, Arun, on, what was your big one there? The short on Apple.
Yeah.
It was a good cover. Okay, so now space still looking to take out the top, man. This is where we're long, 25.70. I really love that we reviewed our trades before because we gave you AMC, which was an absolute rip. We gave you that trade. That happened right off the open. We gave you CRSR, which was a ripper as well, right off the open. NEO, still loving that trade as well. PayPal, what a big trade off the open as well. Now coming back in a little bit. We're flat on that trade. We're long at 289.60. I still believe in the long. I know Arun's hunting for the short. And then space we gave to you as well. So we're going to have some nice bangers through. Let's go, space, man. Still taking off. Really, really happy with this trade. And again, I just hope, you know, a lot of you guys are looking at some of this, right? Oh, we got to look at Zoom. But there's PayPal. We talked about that. We talked about spaces on here as well. And then we talked about NEO. So right now, if you were interested in looking at for like a watch list, that's completely free. I do put mine out every single day, and it's called the Sticky Note. So what up to Sticky Note Nation? Everyone that's part of that, what's up? Let's just keep on going, man. Virgin Galactic to the upside. We got to find some more names here. I was going to look on my list here. BBIG getting BBIG roasted right now, down to 575. That might be an opportunity here. So let's go over to BBIG, which is on the NASDAQ, and have a quick look and see what we can find on this. Down now 20%. Wow. It's low. Of course, this is Vinco Ventures, man. I mean, this is a very, very popular. name that we've talked about a while here. I got to get my daily chart to load up, but if you check out the 7-minute chart, we traded that a little bit yesterday, but here we go, man. It's coming to crashing back down. Watch out for some support at $5. I got to get my daily chart locked and loaded, but right now that's looking pretty good. Corsair as well, starting to go one more time. So there goes Corsair. We're long at 30 and starting to go to the upside. So this has been a big day for us. I hope it's been the same for you guys.
Yeah, a couple positions. Now, Apple, you see Apple bouncing back strong because it's going in the opposite direction of the futures, because futures actually broke down to the lows at 16, and Apple went up to 152 and change, 152.5. So that was a disconnect there. I'm not sure what was going on. Apple's one of the, usually the direction that Apple goes. The futures tend to move with them. It must mean there's got to be another index stock that's actually a couple index stocks that must be kind of keeping this market going down. I'm going to take a quick look at Microsoft. Microsoft, the next big name in the list on the index weights. So Microsoft kind of stable. Okay, it's not going to be Microsoft. Let's take a quick look at Google, and maybe it's Google. Stable. So I'm going to just leave it alone. Those are the kind of the top names, and if we're not going to go with those, then I'm not sure what's carrying this market. So now I got to be like, worried a little bit about what's moving this market to the downside if it's not going to be these big index names. As I'm talking, PayPal back down towards 288. Remember, we're still looking for that short on PayPal. Below 288, we just need to stabilize before I go for that trade. I'm just waiting still. We may have to move that order a little bit. Maybe 287.50 since that was where we bounced off of. But the short is still the read on PayPal. And we're still holding that Apple short, right? The future short is still in play. Apple short is still in play. We're going to wait for PayPal to get a short there. What else? Airbnb was one of those stocks that kind of popped off on my radar. And we've traded it. I feel like I traded it like once or twice last week. It was Airbnb above 158. We kind of cracked it. If we can get it back above there, you have a potential for the long on Airbnb as well with the 157, call it 156 and change stop. So $1, just over $1 in terms of risk. And as I'm talking, there goes Facebook above 382. Valeria's at the big screen. What's up, Valeria?
Hey Arun, Palantir alert on the chat, guys. Could you please take a look at Palantir for us? Stock is up around 2%.
Yeah, sure. I love looking at these new names that perhaps we've never looked at before. So Palantir, yeah, and thank you again. You know, Palantir investor, but not Palantir trader today, like as if. Look what Palantir did, man. I mean, just ripped all the way to the upside. Yesterday was a good trade for us on Palantir. You can see what we were doing yesterday. Look at these buys. Buy. You know, like this is early on yesterday. Like, why don't make the same trade today? No idea. I mean, we've just been distracted with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 so far. Palantir, bang that. We defend, and then, you know, now today it's straight up to the upside again. So maybe we can look at a 7-minute. I've been so busy, I haven't even opened up my daily chart yet. Yeah, so this is where we ran into some problems. So I think this is not a problem because that was just a move to the upside. Let's take a 2650 break. If 2650 breaks on Palantir, we're going to load up and go long on that one. So that's the trade that I like on Palantir. And you know, you can look at a 20-minute chart. That was it right there yesterday. I talked about this a couple months ago when it was at 22. I said my price target is about a 28 on this name. So here comes Palantir, 2650. And I mean, on the daily chart here, although mine isn't loading, I can use eSignal right here. You could see this is that level of concern for me up to 28. So we called that when we were down here at 22 and barcoding. I said the next stop is 28. So that looks like where we're going. So we got to get through 2650 first. So I'm going to load up a day chart on my platform. And I'm going to also put in a stop order, a conditional limit buy at 2651. So if we can crack through that, let's giddy up on that one. NEO now 20 cents in the money. Corsair 25 cents in the money. AMC, we're just letting it ride. We've taken out a whole bunch of shares already on this name, so that's pretty good. We're pretty light on it now, but there goes your PayPal to the downside. Although I'm long, I don't think you're short yet.
Not yet.
But you're looking at this level here, I bet 287.50 is going to be my guess.
Yeah.
I heard you mention that. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous if Arun's going to be going short. Maybe we will lighten up at that area as well. But PayPal's been a killer for me so far today. So let's just keep on going, guys. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, and you see it. I took a quick trade on on Facebook. You know what? That was a mistake of mine. I took a 382 long on Facebook, and it was a quick. As soon as I got in, the biz just dropped and it was gone. And that's one of those things where I'm just like, oh man, I should have just waited a little bit more, because I was like, oh, you know what? We may be stabilizing around 45.18 on the futures. We got Apple starting to move up, and now Facebook as well. So when they took 382, I just kind of stepped in a little bit. It was like instantly like 10, 15 cents out. I couldn't get out. Well, I could have gotten out if I were to cross down aggressive. And at that point, I hesitate a little bit, and there goes the remaining 50, 60 cents. So obviously we lost on Facebook, but we did cash out. I'm making more than enough money on the futures. On the downside, here we go, another exit. You can see my next green arrow. If I can actually get this, I should zoom in like this.
I'll hit the cash register for you.
Yeah, it's just cashing out here. We got 18s and 17s just underneath 18, and now we have just in front of 15 as well. I've got some more exits waiting. If we can keep on going down, I'm just going to keep slowly getting out of this position in bits and pieces. And while we're going to Brendan, I'm going to be trying to get my hands on a PayPal short.
Another one moving here, guys, on volume. Digital Turbine, we've looked at many times before. APPS is the ticker, set to join the S&P 400 mid-cap index. That is FUTU. So APPS, guys, doing more volume than usual.
Okay, I'm just getting ready to get out here of Corsair. If Corsair breaks down below this 29, oops, that's my daily chart's now back and working. If this is 7 minutes, so we don't want that either. Where's my 1 minute chart? Here it is. Corsair, if we can break down back down below here, this 60 area, we're gonna get out of Corsair. It's too much risk for me. It's not too much risk, it's just we've already made that money, and I don't want to lose what we've made already on this name. So I thought it would go a little bit more. We know that we have Wall Street bets and things like that behind Corsair, so that did have a big chance to go, in my opinion anyways, and it did go. So we do want to make sure that we capture some profit here as the NASDAQ looks like it wants to continue its downward move. So just a quick update. I know PayPal's starting to go. I got to address that. But there we go. We take out $1 on Virgin Galactic. So we'll go from eating ribs to eating some chicken dinner winners right now, because there it is, man. We didn't take out the ultimate high on Virgin, but we let it go. I mean, if the market wanted to go there, I really, really think that this was a great opportunity to keep going. So we'll get out of Virgin Galactic, bam, right there for 50 cents, and then again right there for the $1. So we're happy with that trade, but we do have to address our PayPal. It does break through that level, and again, the market's not helping this name. I do still like it. We did take one more long there at 287.30. So right now we're trying to defend some PayPal. I'm kind of agreeing with Arun here. Very, very weak. This looks like that affirmed trade yesterday. We may have to wait for this to come back, but again, it was such a big move yesterday off that, like 280 all the way up to 290 there on a straight line, and then it really battled, right? And so I would have really liked for it to hold that 290. Nice win to the upside, but right now we're sort of licking our wounds a little bit with this. We don't want to lose on the day for PayPal, but I mean, I don't think I can. I mean, I'm long at 289. I just don't know if there's a $5 back to the upside right now. It really has to go for us on PayPal, but I probably don't average in again, but a 285 bid may be something that I'll look at. So I don't know. I got to have a target for an out. You're short right now, Arun?
No, I've got an offer out, but
okay.
Given how it moves, I don't know if I'm going to get it right now.
Yeah, that's, I mean, the only reason I asked for that is because I need to figure out where I'm going to get out if I'm wrong. So I think a 285.50, if we're wrong, we're going to get out. So unfortunately, we'll take a $3 hit on this one. I think there's worth it to come back to VWAP up here, which would be about that $3. So I'm happy with the risk reward. But again, if it dips down, we are going to have to get out of probably 2/3 of our position and then wait for the ultimate bottom. I just don't want to get wicked out, but 285.50 right here, I think is a killer spot for me on PayPal.
Yeah, I'm trying to, you see my offer here, trying to get some entries on the short side on PayPal. Again, the risk on this is just going to be above 290. So let's, I need to get my prices. I know what the downside is. The fact that we trapped out, especially with that 290 break, opens the door for the short. I'm trying to get my hands on it, but there's only certain prices I'm willing to pay given the risk profile of this trade. So hey, we're going to wait for that. Apple's starting to work back down through 152. That's great. Another trade I'm just waiting for is Airbnb to the short side. We were talking about Airbnb up through 185, 158.5. We're looking for that breakout through the top. Potential trade to the buy side. They spun this around just like PayPal. They are a lot of trades that were going in one direction immediately are setting up on the short side move. So why not go for the short? Because sometimes those are the better trades, right? Those false moves in one direction with the spin in the opposite direction. I'm looking at Airbnb potentially on the short side as well. And another exit on the futures here. You see me just in front of 13 or around 13 mark. We're cashing out. Every time this market moves down, I am cashing out along the way. So we are down. What are we down to now? We're down to about a quarter of our position. So we've still got a quarter left. I've got a couple more orders left. See if we can't keep on going down on the futures. Stop on this has not moved, by the way. So anyone who's wondering, how are you managing this? How is your trail stop? The trail stop is still the original risk profile, which was up here at 30. Even though we've done multiple legs down, I haven't moved the stop just yet. I am looking and wondering if 20 makes sense at this point. I may kind of move this around the 20, 21, 22 mark, depending on how it trades. I think 2 bounces off the 18 point, which was very strong, down into the 15s, and then a bounce back up kind of confirms this support zone. So I'm gonna look at this a little bit more because I really need to do the work on the futures. The stock stuff is fairly straightforward. I think there's certain breaks, you just put the offers in. Futures, you kind of digest a little bit more information. You see targets on Apple, right, in front of 151. That's a remaining half. I'll let this Apple position go if we break down, and I'll just ride the futures train if it actually goes down. And while I talk about this, I do have to get my order in on Airbnb. We want that short underneath. There you go. For anyone who's wondering, there's your red line there. So I am looking for some shorts below 155 on Airbnb. The stop on this is going to be 156.50, so about $1.50 or so, and see if we can actually make some money. Airbnb has some space. It really has some space to the downside. I mean, first target on this is going to be at least 152 half through 152 even. So I'm going to try to make at least $3, $2.50 to $3 to the downside on Airbnb. I'll put up $1.50 to try to take that shot. But for now, we are going to go to Brendan for what's happening now.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock. Let's have a quick look here at North American markets. Still in the red. We are doing a little bit better as far as the Dow is concerned. However, everything else coming off a bit. Still S&P down 0.25%. NASDAQ leading at this point. It's the 100 though, the big ones. Down 0.5% here for the NASDAQ. The Russell trying to bounce today, 0.3%. It was lower yesterday, if you remember. Here in Toronto, about 0.2 for the TSX to the upside. A couple of things from this morning. We were talking about these Chinese names, both BAVA, Pinduoduo, were very positive in the pre-market. PDD got to 101, turned on a dime, all the way back to 96.5, right through to day lows as we speak here, still up 2% for Pinduoduo. Moderna, the other one that had a couple of headlines, mostly negative ones. 376, 377 was a little bit of resistance in the pre-market, trying to bounce currently off of that for mRNA. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, Moderna, you mentioned Moderna. It actually, it came off on the radar for me a little bit earlier, above 380. And I was like, okay, well, can I put up $10 in risk? I'm like, no, I want 378 through 376, 377. Support point on this is going to be 366. So, is it 366? Yeah, it's going to be 366 is what I've got marked off. So for this trade, I'm definitely going to, well, it was 370 originally. And then as the more and more I'm looking at this, I'm like, do I want to put 370 in front of this 368 support zone we had on the 30th, which was yesterday? We bounced around 366, we bounced around 368. Maybe 370 is not the right risk. So the stop on this is going to be 366. It kind of gets rid of all of the support points. So I'm looking at this right now. Moderna is one of those stocks that you want to trade it, but you also don't want to put up the risk on it. So I always hesitate every time that happens. It's just one of those expensive names that moves aggressively. It's $300, and I'm going to kind of, I don't know, I'll put up another alert, see if we can't get into the 375s, and if we kind of get down there and we start to base out, maybe at that point I can justify like an $8, $9 risk. But for now, I'm just going to put the alert up. I'm not really going to trade a whole lot on Moderna. New York, Zoom, we were talking about Zoom to come into the day. Zoom at 290 and change, bouncing off of 290, now at 291 and change, still a leg up. If you're wondering why the charts look like this, I zoom them out so I can get a better read on what the structure of the market and the moves look like. So for me at the moment, it does look like Zoom is looking at 290, so I'm not going to trade that either. We're just going to ride this Apple train and this futures train and see if we can make some more money. I'm still waiting to get into PayPal, by the way. I haven't gotten my short yet. But Sean, have you taken care of that long that you had on PayPal, or are you still riding the long?
No, I'm actually doing the opposite. I'm not doing the greatest on PayPal right now, but we're just waiting for this to go. So I mean, that's going to be sort of what's going to happen right now. I mean, I have my outs. It's going to be 285.50. We took one more stab there. I think I do have a bid, one more bid. I'll take another stab actually as well at 286 flat. So if we can get that, I mean, I'm just trying to analyze it and trying to make sure that, you know, we're not taking on too much risk here because, again, we've had a very, very good day. So we're not, you know, we don't want to put everything away here. We want to make sure that we capture some of the profits and you know, again, not die on one trade, right? And I think that that's something that I try to do. And, you know, so we're going to do that with PayPal. We're going to watch for that. On that note, though, NEO started to come down a little bit there. It does hit that 38 and change. I did have some lower bids, but again, on my bids are all the way down here at 37. So actually, now that I see that in my account, I'm going to cancel it. You know, right back to VWAP, not a bad spot. It came all the way back to the upside. I still like this one. Should have bought some more NEO down here at 38 flat. That, you know, that was a decision that we missed there. 38.20 into some of that consolidation early. So we'll see if NEO can still have some work to the upside right now. I believe it can go. Just so if everyone's watching right here, we did have Ether start to go here. If I can, I don't know why this chart's not going, but Ethereum, okay, well, we'll get back to this in a second. That chart was working, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's go over to some of these other stocks that perhaps, you know, a BTBT, something like that. We talked about SOS before as well. Let's see if there's any movement on this. I don't know why I don't know, is our internet still working? Because eSignal's working, but that website that I look at's not. So let's go. I'm like having some problems with my computer. I don't even know what's going on. There goes BTBT. Yeah, so there's a nice move up on BTBT. I just said Ethereum was starting to go. So here we go back to the upside again. So let's watch out for some of these stocks. Once I get that chart bumping for you, I'll call it up. But right now I'm having some issues, so can't get that. But BTBT starting to go a little bit right now. We could check on SOS as well. I believe that's an Amex name? No, that's a New York name. Oh my God. Let's go up to that. There it is here. Let's see if this is starting to go. And again, I don't think, yeah, not really. I was going to say some of these crypto names are not dead, man. I mean, you know, crypto is one of those things where if you find some stuff you can pick up at the bottom, I think there is a good chance to go. SOS, I believe Chinese though, so you got to watch out for that name right now.
Yep, you do have to watch out for a lot of names. Sometimes you don't even know what you're trading. A lot of the times we're in positions, we just trade the stock, we don't even know what the name of the company is or what the company does, right? We're just basing off the action that we see on the screen. So a lot of times if you're doing those investing, don't do that. If you're investing in stocks, obviously you want to know the background and the details of the company. But when you're kind of day trading, sometimes it's speed matters. Well, not sometimes. Speed matters all the time. And sometimes seeing the read and taking the trade matters more than actually holding on to anything or trying to do the due diligence. In our case, we have Brendan that gives us information. So that always helps with our news releases anyways. Snow. We were talking about snow. And as I talk about this, as I was talking about snow, Brendan has something. So we got to go to him just in case there is something that we got to watch out for. What's up, Brendan?
Speaking of LEDS, recent high flyer, guys. This one popped up going back a couple months ago on the daily chart on huge volume. It's one of those ones that kind of sticks its head out every time, you know, these low float stocks start to run. So this is one of those. LEDS, 12.5% on volume, guys.
All right, back to snow. I was looking at snow above 300. We were talking about the stock 300 to 301. I want to see some stability. It came off on the radar, but then instantly backed off to 298 and change. So we're going to wait for some more, but I may take a shot at snow above 301. I thought it may be 300, but the more I look at this, it's probably going to be 301 at the moment. You see on my screen as well, I went to the Airbnb short. That was one of the offers that I was looking for. And hey, we're putting up $1 and change for Airbnb in terms of risk. See if we can get that move to the downside towards 152 and change, right? We're short just below this here, 155. Once this up, 156.50 is the stop, I believe. Yeah, 156.50 is the stop up here. The reason I do this, and guys, let's just kind of quickly look at this in terms of structure. If you're wondering, well, this bar does that or that bar does that or it looks like this, yeah, sometimes that matters, but a lot of times, me personally, I care for structure more than I care for bars. And bars you can get a bar that fits your whatever read you want to make. If you want to go long, you go through the different time frames and you'll find a candle or whatever setup you need to kind of confirm that. But structure matters. Structure tells you where the volume is, and I'm starting to see volume around 155 through 156. So if we break through that, then for me, I'm going to go for the short, right? That makes more sense for me to go for the short below support zone and then use that previous support zone as resistance. So that's the way I see it. So we're going for, that's the trade that we're making. 155 short, 156.50 is going to be the stop on that. Futures, let's take a quick look at the futures. Stop has moved to 20 and change. So 45, 20 and change will lock in about 4 points or so on the remaining quarter of the position. We've already had like 4 different exits already on the way down. I think if you go above 20, then this market has found some stability below 20, at which point going short is probably not going to be a good idea, which also means if the market's going to come back above 20, then I got to watch Apple, because Apple's obviously a big part of the market. So Apple's one of those positions I got to tighten up the stop on. We've already cashed out 75 cents on the first half. Now I'm going to bring the stop in just above 152 as well as I look at the screen. We got to protect it, right? The Apple position and the futures position, because of Apple's weighting in the indexes, it's going to matter. So always pay attention to that. We are almost short on PayPal. PayPal is creeping back up towards that 287.5. I'm trying to get my hands on some short. Again, structure short below 288 with the 290 stop. That's what I'm looking for. See if we can actually take this flip move and take a move all the way back down to 284 on this trade. But that is the target right now. We've got 2 shorts, well, 3 shorts if you include the futures as well. And Apple's coming back, Airbnb kind of spready, coming back above 155. And looks like PayPal wants to creep back up as well. For now, though, that's the only trades I've got on deck, and I've just got to protect my Apple position.
Yeah, we just got out right now. I'm just reviewing, make sure that I have the right stop orders out for all of these trades. It looks like we do. We'll take a look at Alibaba, but there it is, man. AMC, we just got out there. I mean, it broke through VWAP. That was enough for me. I mean, did we get out the ultimate top? No, we did not, but we did hold it a little bit there and got that out. I mean, this is the thing, like, you know, if you're always looking these gift horses in the mouth, then you're getting out, you know, all the way up, and you probably don't have the opportunity to hold some of these, right? So what I'm doing is the opposite. I'm trying to hold some of these and see where they can go, and I think we did a pretty good damn job here on AMC. We basically have the low print of the day off the market open. It just opens up. I mean, the lowest print off the open, I guess, would have been 44.10 or so. We grabbed 44.50 right to the upside, took a little bit, and then just cashed out there for $1. So we took our last bid out for $1. I'm pretty happy with it, and we'll just move forward now with that trade. But this is what I was talking about with Ethereum. It doesn't, and now it's coming back in. It wasn't a huge move, but we just basically bounced off 3,400 and then right to 3,480, almost in a straight line. It was getting pretty aggressive there, and now it's coming back in. So you know, you guys could trade. Sometimes I'll trade, not sometimes, but you could trade GBTC over there on the pink sheets, which is the grayscale Bitcoin. And then you also have ETHE as well, which I've been trying to trade a little bit today, a little bit here, but not much happening. But that's a name to look at there. Did you get your PayPal short? Because right now PayPal is still no. You were waiting at what, 287.50, right, or
somewhere close to that? Yeah, I'm trying to get average.
That was very, very close. I mean, that should have printed you. Okay, so right now, I thought I was buying some more. There we go. Okay, so I just did buy some more PayPal. We are very, very close to the not the shutdown spot, but where we are going to shut our trade down at 286. Here it comes, 285.50. So unfortunately, man, this is the thing. When you're going to see, I mean, maybe we get a bounce here. I don't know. But this is the thing. When you see the NASDAQ starting to bounce back up like this is how I know I'm a little, you know, we're in a little bit of trouble, when the market starts telling you otherwise, right? And so that to me is a big thing. When the market rebounds like this and PayPal doesn't do anything, like PayPal just tanking down here by itself, when the NASDAQ really trying to go up now. So to me, it has a mind of its own, and that's not a mind that I'm a fan of right now. So, you know, we are going to have to look at getting out here on some of this, and hopefully we just got a nice little long there. Our average price 288 now, so we can get back into 287 range. We'll probably cash a little bit of this out.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that you mentioned PayPal that I should have gotten filled. I looked at my order price. I looked at the high, exactly the same, just not enough shares printed. So they came up there and they're like, nope, we're not going to give you the shares, and they just turned right back around. As I talk,
Great when they do that.
Yeah, right. Fun times. As I talk about this, I'm actually cashing out of my futures. Here you go. Finally exit just in front of 22. So I'm fully out of my futures position. I've been writing this pretty much since what was this, like 7:40 this morning Eastern time, guys. So we've been in this trade for almost 2.5 hours now at this point, and we're out. We're fully out. We've made all the money that we need to at this point. I mean, Airbnb, I've got the short. PayPal, we've missed the short. At this point, I don't even know if I can actually leave the order there, because if it spins back around one more time now, I may want to see how it trades before I get into the short. So I'm actually going to go ahead and cancel the order on PayPal, because clearly they came up to it and said, nope, that was a big note on their end towards me. So I'm going to move out of the way and see if they're going to go past me, and I can just come back in and cross and get my shares at that point. All right, what else we got? PayPal. Oh yeah, Apple. I've tightened up this stop on Apple as well. Again, futures, because they spun around, I had to tighten up this Apple stop as well. So 152 and change is going to be your stop on Apple. So there we are with that, and Airbnb is just sitting, not doing a whole lot there. One other trade I was looking to get my hands on that I don't. Why do I have 3 orders? I have Apple, PayPal. Oh yeah, I'm not going to get the PayPal. So I've got to cancel some orders here. Another trade, let's take a quick look at Facebook. Remember, we were looking at Facebook when it was breaking to its highs, went long, instantly out, and now it's kind of spinning around a little bit again. Okay, let's see if we can, now we got the futures on our side. If we can get back above 382, maybe we can actually make some money on this on the long side with Apple, or with Facebook, because keep in mind, Facebook has been on a tear, right? So a consolidation move back up, that could work potentially. So now we have futures, let's work with that, put up 382 again, see if we can't get back up there. Brandon, what's up?
A little one to look at, guys. We've looked at this Lightning E-Motors before, which is ZEV, the ticker. They signed a multi-year deal with Collins Bus to make electric school buses today. So if you're wondering what's up with this, ZEV up 15.5% on volume, guys.
All right, let's go. Let's get some risk time. Let's hit the sirens. Now we're in Zoom. So you know what? I like Zoom. I thought it was a little bit overdone, but I've been wrong so far, but maybe now is the bounce. So this is what we're kind of talking about right now with Zoom. So, you know, it came all the way, crashed down here. We talked about this move to the downside. Both Arun and I liked 312. That's not going to happen today. It doesn't look like. I mean, if it does, great. And hopefully I can have a $23 winner, but I don't think that's going to happen. And so right now, let's just get, this is going to be a quick trade for me. So very much only a risk now of about $2. So I just want to see if it can hold 288. It's just been the low of the day. I don't need to use any other charts for this. This is just going to look right here. We're going to see if Zoom can hold this 288. If it doesn't, then we're gone. But if it does, then I think there is a little bit more upside. Zoom seems to be, to me, I mean, we can look at this, but there's a 7-minute chart. This is bar coding to say the least right there. So hopefully that can come out for us a little bit. And we'll go back to the upside. There's really going to be nothing to look at here. I'm not going to play off any big levels or anything like that. I'm just going to simply hold this until the day's low, and we'll see if we can't get that back. Zoom, hopefully that can go up. We'll see. I think it can. So that should be a good play for us. All right, NEO. All right, here we go. We've given everything back on NEO, guys. Come on, chart. So here we go. This has happened to us yesterday. However, today with the NASDAQ being down 0.33, I don't really see a rally back in this market today. We talked about it possibly being red today. Sorry, I'm saying today too much, but Valeria wearing green. So hopefully that'll help us. There she is. Hopefully that'll help us a little bit. But NEO coming to the downside. My out's going to be right here, just below 38. So we're about getting ready to crack out of this one. Let's let it fall down. My initial look on this was a 37 target, but it looks like NEO, we hit it easy early. We took a lot of this out, man. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outs up there, right? So we definitely got out of, I think it was out of about 70 or 80%, but now we're dug back in and it's not good. So we are going to give back some of this profit that we've made on NEO today if it does crack below, and my outs are right here, man, like 37.95, 96 or so. So we're very, very close to being tipped out here on NIO. Damn it, yesterday was a good one. Today it looks like we have to fight the tape again.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing though. I know a lot of people, like obviously from the investment side, they want to go long and long only. Just be aware there are some ultra short ETFs that you can actually play. So if you don't feel comfortable going after the short because of the risk exposure, you can still go short through an ETF that allows you to play the downside. Let's say in this case, I'm looking at SDS on the ultra short for the S&P 500. You also have, there's a QID, I believe, is the NASDAQ ultra short. So there are short plays that you can make by going long on an ETF that's an inverse ETF. So just look into it. If you're only playing long side, you're limiting your potential to capture market moves, right? If there's a huge say down day, and you're only going long, you're gonna be catching every bounce as the market goes down. But if you see a short, you just don't feel comfortable taking the short, just be aware, there's ETFs out there that allow you to buy the ETF, and as long as the market goes down, the price goes up. So you make money on the short as well, so that's an option as well. Understand the risk before you take it though. Just look into it, do the research. If you feel comfortable, that's something you want to look into and take, by all means. But that is an option as well for anyone who's actually looking to trade on the short side as well and not too comfortable with the exposure. Because keep in mind, when you go short, you are exposed. If the market were to take off or if the stock were to take off, you're kind of at the market's mercy on where you can get out. But we here, we were in and out, we're quick with our trades, so we are all over the place with longs and shorts. What else do I have? Okay, yeah, Apple, okay, backing off this 152, okay. Remember, the stop on this was just above 152, so we're going to leave this alone and see if we can get the breakdown through 151. So that means if Apple's backing down, what is the futures doing? Not a whole lot. They're stabilizing above 20. Again, this makes me think there could be some stability. The 18s was a problem the first time around. Then you see the 15 mark, and then right back through the 18s and some stability through the 20s. So there seems to be some support building. Just be aware that is happening at the moment. So we're going to leave that alone and just play Apple on its own. At this point, it looks like Apple just wants to kind of do its own thing. So we're going to see how that goes. And let's take a quick look at Facebook, because that's another part of the index I want to look at. Facebook, okay, kind of just sitting sideways. 382 is the marker there. And if we get back above that point, we can actually take a shot at the upside. Let's take a quick look at Microsoft, because Microsoft is the number 2 stock in the indexes in terms of weight. So what is Microsoft doing? Okay, 302 and change might be a shot to the downside, but Microsoft isn't doing a whole lot. It's kind of it's doing what Facebook is doing, kind of just sitting in the mid-range. There's some support down below, resistance up top, and we're just kind of waiting for this market to kind of just pick a direction and go with it. So not a whole lot in terms of reads there. And there, oh man, I just looked over at PayPal.
Oh, don't even
PayPal's
tell me
at like 285 and a half. That would have been $2 on that PayPal short, making up for almost making up for the loss on the long. That was you know what I'm going to do? I feel like sometimes I should just go iceberg the order, or even send the order through the dark pool, so that people don't just kind of back off as soon as they get to it. So guys, there's a lot of ways to send orders. Sometimes it's obvious to send limit. Sometimes you can get fancy and just try to hide some orders, just so the market does not do exactly this, is just come up to you and stop and then turn right back around because they don't want to fill you. Simple. Simple as that, right? So just 2 shorts for now, Apple and Airbnb. What am I? Oh, RDHL. Okay, RDHL just popped off on my radar. RDHL, guys, absolutely on a tear right now to the upside. Through 11, it looks like we're going straight up on RDHL through 11. I don't know what to make of this chart at this point. I don't even know what the news is. And maybe Brendan can look into it. But here we are up 28% on RDHL, up $2.41. And pretty much since we broke 1050, we really haven't kind of stalled out or gone sideways at all. So keep an eye on that. If anybody wants to want some excitement, and then it looks like Sean's got some excitement. What do you have, Sean?
Yeah, I was just so I'm into Zoom here again. We bought some bottoms here on ZM, and finally the market's starting to go. So we do have dollar in the money now on ZM. So yeah, let's go. We're having. I mean, someone said I'm having a rough day. Not really. Today's been fine. We just need some of these names to go. I mean, obviously, PayPal has been a little bit of a rough side. Come on, man. Now we're $1.20 in the money on this one. Let's go up to Zoom. Come on. We're still waiting for 292-ish. If I can get something like that, we'll take it. I may just empty some out right now. I'm also on the offer of PayPal. Now, we're only out of this one $1.50, but hopefully that can go. So like $1.50 in the money right now on Zoom and $1.50 out on PayPal. So all good on this front, but may cash some out here. Take $1.20 on Zoom and just enjoy that the NASDAQ's starting to go back to the upside a little bit here. But let's go Zoom. It just resisted it right there. Maybe we'll take a piece out. But we got to throw to Brendan first.
Yeah, just on that Red Hill, guys. Red Hill Biopharma's RDHL. They had a treatment for COVID-19. This is a treatment, not a vaccine. This data came out late in the day yesterday, so it looks like still catching a bid off of that. Just worth noting, another one with a relatively small float, only 46 million on the float for RDHL.
All right, okay, just watching some of these trades. Okay, we did get out of Zoom right there. Now it's just ripping upside. I want to make sure that we didn't get caught there on Zoom because it is making that move to the upside right now. 291 and change. I thought we had. Okay, yeah, so we did get out there at 291.17 or so, I believe it was. So that was a nice little win for us. And now we have 289s. Now we're at $2 in the money on the last little bit here. So let's let this continue to go to the upside now. Hopefully Zoom can cash us in right now. We have 0 LFT right now off some of these plays, but we need PayPal to go back to the upside. So I am sitting here. Maybe 286.50 will get out a piece. But again, we can't get too greedy on some of these plays, man. You know, and by greedy, I mean, suffering the loss. This is going to be a negative trade. Sometimes you got to pair off. Even like all trades don't need to be positive, although we would like them to be. But if you have a wrong read and you're able to get saved a little bit, that's what you should do. Let's go Zoom. Hit the siren on that one as that's starting to go. And we're going to get a little bit more out on PayPal right now as well. I do have an offer at 286.90, but I'm going to change that and get out right now. Play some of this momentum to the upside on the NASDAQ. Wow, that saved me right there. Let's go. We'll look over at Tesla, but we got to go over to Brendan for a little RHE action.
RGC too.
Hey guys, yeah, we'll talk some small caps. We'll talk some micro caps in the case of RHE. And I want to start this off by saying, get ready to benefit from me breaking some rules today. And RHE, I mentioned it in the pre-market, guys, 1.5 million share free float. I have a general rule that if anything is below 10 on the free float, so 10 million shares on the free float, I typically avoid it. Every once in a while, you'll find yourself, you'll get on a streak. It's been 3 weeks since I had a red day. So once you get onto a streak, you'll find yourself kind of bending your rules or wanting to bend your rules to take advantage of some positivity that you've been having in your trading. That was the case for me today. So RHE, an absolutely crazy stock. This thing trades $1 to $1.50 at a time. Very, very thin. There's absolutely no liquidity on this thing. Did give you an opportunity to the short side initially, but as I said, halted to the upside above 12. So I've traded 5 symbols today. I'm negative on this one only, and that's going to give back my entire day. So that's why you have rules in place, guys. Make sure you follow those rules. Support.com. We talked about the cost of shorts. I said it was about 45 cents today. This broke 36, which was a significant level I was watching early this morning. So if you gave this back to 37 even, it's $1. So if you include the cost of shorts, 44 cents plus maybe 50 cents of risk, let's call it $1 risk. This was a $4 winner to the downside. So $1 risk with the short for a $4 winner on SPRT, BBIG, very similar type of trades. These were trading very closely over the past couple of days. 7 and then 730 above that. This gets down to about 575 for that one, guys. Back over to you.
Sean went bang over there.
Yeah,
I believe he's got what, Neo?
Yeah, let's go, let's go. Hey, where's Neil? Hey, where's that pineapple pizza, my paisan? Yeah, there it is, man. Neo, yeah, to you too. Right now, there goes Neo, man, all the way backside. Like, we are so lucky that we didn't get topped out there. Bottomed out, stopped out at that 38 break. You know, we talked about where we had our orders. They were down here, man, 37.85, and just real lucky that we didn't get that out. We didn't get burned on that out. Here it comes. Zoom. We should have took that out at VWAP. I thought it was going to break and continue to go higher, but this is a nice little $3 winner. Was $4 up there at 293. Let's see if it can continue to go right now. But Zoom, yes, sir, man. We're just, you know what we're doing today? It's kind of like this, man. We're kind of hiding in the weeds with some of these plays right now. Because there's Neil. I found him. He's right. Okay, there's Neil. Yeah, we're excited about it today. Neo now 30 cents in the money, man. Just a nice little move to the upside right there. I don't know what that candle was, but nice little move to the upside. So we're going to try to enjoy that. And then, by the way, man, thank God. I said this to Arun. PayPal saved me. There's no doubt about that. You know, this buy was pretty nice. We got that dollar out there. We take out half of our position, and now we're going to see if PayPal can't go with, I mean, you can't see the market here, but if PayPal can't, there you go. PayPal can't see with the market. If this wants to go, then I think PayPal will go, and we can have that winner that we thought we'd had earlier, where we took some nice profits there. And then this average in was very, very dangerous. We had our 285 outs. Didn't trigger, thank God for that one as well. So we'll wait now on PayPal and see where we go from here. I think we take out this 287.50 right here. We see VWAP, which puts us over the moon, and that's a great trade there for me as well. So happy with that one. We're not I mean, we're similar to Brendan here today. We don't have anything negative on the show here right yet. So this is going to be a good day for us. It's all PayPal pending though, right? If PayPal goes down, we will have a negative stock, but wow, what a big day this has been for us again. And let's just keep the party going, man. I mean, I'm loving trading. I mean, I take 6 days off. We come back with some hot fire. Great to be with my friend Arun. Hoping Neil has a great vacation. He's back on Tuesday. It's a long weekend, but let's go now. Now PayPal's starting to get a little exciting. It just has to break through that. Uh-oh, Zoom. Get ready. Arun, are you ready for it? Because here it comes. Bang! bang, right there. The calmest trader is back. Up to 294. Let's see if we take this out, man. 295. Look, I mean, this was a good bid right there. I mean,
for sure.
Just happy that it didn't keep on falling. We did get saved a little bit by the NASDAQ there. Let's see how far Zoom can go. What up, Maggie? Maggie's in the building now, so that's always makes everybody happy. So let's continue to watch this go to the upside right now as we are getting ready for Mr. Wonderful. Josh Richards as well coming through with some DeFi action. WonderFi coming through. We'll talk about them. Brendan's going to have them soon, so we'll talk about their business coming up very, very soon. But let's go, man. Zoom. I mean, I'm just super happy with this Zoom call. I'm thinking about a 295 out. I think 294 is not bad, man. We should just take this $5 and run away. But Zoom, great trading on that one. I don't want to put a stop in because they'll probably get triggered. So let's just get out here at 294. We love this Zoom trade. $5 in the money, man. That's a saver for me.
Yeah, so a couple positions, one position I've added to the list now. Piton long above 102, kind of got some stability. So I went for the long there. The risk on this is about $1, right? We're looking for $1 long, see if we can get up to 103, 104. Try to go 1 for 1 on this trade. It's a fairly straightforward trade, so I'm just going to leave that alone. I think we talked about 102 in the pre-market as well. Airbnb, finally, we worked that 155. Finally, now we are working 154. Again, target's going to be like 152, maybe 152.5 if we start to lose a little bit of momentum down there. But for now, I'm going to say 152 is going to be the first target on Airbnb. That's up 72 cents in the money. Piton is up 13 cents in the money. We can't get too excited. Remember, we're trying to get above 103 and change. And Apple, of course, $1.28 in the money. Finally, grinding through that 151.5. Somebody on the chat earlier was asking, how do you know, or what do you mean when you say the futures are on your side? Guys, everyone has to understand the futures are the indexes. We're talking about the index. Specifically, we're talking about the S&P. I'm going to be talking about the S&P 500 index futures, which is pretty much tracking the index as a whole, right? So you can trade in it if you decide to trade in the futures contracts. In this case, the ES September contract, ES/U21 on our system. So when I'm saying I want to have the futures, or we even Sean may say it, we want to have the futures on our side, that's because a lot of the times the influence of the futures generally pushes stocks in certain directions, right? And then you have, if you were to break down the index themselves, they are composed of, in this case, 500 stocks, but the top names have the heaviest weight. Specifically, Apple, Microsoft have some of the largest weights in the S&P 500. So if Apple were to go one direction or Microsoft were to go one direction, you're going to have that influence in the index, move the index, and then the index may go around and start putting some pressure on some stocks because stocks tend to go with the direction of the index. Just understand that there is a relationship there between the futures, the indexes, the individual stocks, and obviously if there's a disconnect, then you can say relative strength. Well, if the stock is going up and the futures are falling off a cliff, well, you can say this stock has relative strength to the index. So if the futures were to stall a little bit, then this stock may go up even faster. So just understand there's a relationship there. Understand the whole dynamic of what's in play. If you don't have access to the futures, in this case, this is traded off of CME. If you don't have access to that, you can always look at the spiders. It is the same thing. It's just a ETF version of the index. They're going to do the exact same move. The charts are going to be the exact same thing. So if you want to look at the S&P 500 futures, but in the ETF form, spiders. If you want to look at the NASDAQ futures in the ETF form, you have the Qs, right? The triple Qs, and that's traded on the NASDAQ. So just a quick, brief lesson on the relationships and how not one thing is in a vacuum. What's up, Sean?
Oh, man. We'll spin the money. Let's just spin it because we have Mr. Wonderful coming on, a good friend of the show, and he likes money, and he told me to say this word, cash flow. So there we go, Mr. Wonderful. Thank you for coming back on. He's going to be on very, very soon. And the reason why I hit that, we're out of Zoom. That's a $4 winner. But it broke through 293. It was right near VWAP. We tried to preserve some of our own cash flow, but we got out, and now Zoom starts to rip up a little bit more. So I'd have a little bit more cash if I held on to it, but that's a good win, man. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day today. We've made 85 trades, a lot of good risk management, I feel like today. This NEO trade, buy here, sell, wait for it to dip, pick these up, right? Hold it out for this bottom, doesn't hit. Now we're cashing out. That's 70 cents in the money. That's a good trade for us. And then like you saw on PayPal, you know, in, trying to hold some of these levels. It does hold the bottom. And then we go risk management again and just basically trying to get it out for flat. If we can get a rip back up here to volume weighted average price, then hey man, we'll take that part out. But so far, so good today. Let's check back in on Virgin Galactic. Is that still flying? Oh, see, again, in early on that break, right? We get an upgrade from Jeffries, and then it's off to the races. Out here, a nice little dollar. We take that dollar on a 75 break back to the downside, and now Virgin Galactic space. Still, what a roller coaster ride it's been for space today as we go. We need to put a route on there. But Neil right there riding this coach, I guess, second spot. So here we go. PayPal's starting to go. I really think that we're going to go to our interview soon. But, you know, this 287.50, if PayPal, Arun, I don't know if are you still looking at the short? Because
no.
I don't like the short anymore. If this can take out 287.50, we're all about fintech. We're all about these new ideas now. And PayPal coming out yesterday talking about stock, putting it all onto one board. And look, that's part of the benefit of Robinhood. They obviously are trading crypto, stocks, wallets, digital wallets, things like that. And now PayPal is going to get into that game. I just love it. I think PayPal has a huge opportunity. I'm obviously an investor in PayPal and in Square, so these are big opportunities for us. And there goes PayPal. Nice little win, 30. I mean, we'll see where it goes from here. But NEO's starting to go to the upside as well. That's going back to day's high. So everything working out. A little baby trades on AMC today, long off the open and out for about $1. And now it's right here on that VWAP break, and now it's kind of hovering around the top. But hey, what a good, successful day. I'm super excited to have our guests coming on soon. As soon as Brendan's ready for that, we'll throw. But hey, Arun, how's your day been going? I know you crushed the futures.
Yep.
Right now, I just have 2 positions. And really giving up on Zoom, which is one of my highest stocks today. That was a beautiful, like that's $6 right there. Should have held on to it, but you guys are welcome in the chat. Thank you for all the kind words. It's been a big day.
All right, let's just do a quick update before we go to our guests. Piton, guys, we got our 1-for-1 reward, right? We went for 102, got out in front of 103. We're out at half already, so we're locked in profit on this. We're walking away positive at least on Piton. The other one, Apple, tighten up the stop, 152 and change. That's still in place. So that's going to lock in about 75 cents or so. And of course, Airbnb. We finally put the order in, 152 and change. We're sitting below 154. That kind of opens the door. Remember, there's nothing between 152 and 154. So downside is potentially wide open. We're going to leave that alone. And futures has started to bounce off that 45.18, 45.20 mark. So you know that's one of those areas we were looking at earlier. We were initially getting out, and then we got below it, and then we came right back above, and that's when I flattened out the position. So just be aware that 45.18, 45.20 seems to be somewhat of a stable level. So into the afternoon, you may have a run up into the 45.30 area. We may be able to use this as potential support for longs in the afternoon. And Brendan has got something for us.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Yeah, we're thrilled to have a bit of a dream team with us today to talk about WonderFi after a very successful debut on the NEO exchange, as we said this morning. WNDR, guys, if you want to check out the ticker for WonderFi. Whenever we are set, guys, we can bring on our guests. It's going to be a full house, so let's get right to it. We're so happy to have Josh Richards, TikTok star. We'll go left to right across the screen in case anyone's wondering. Josh Richards needs no introduction, obviously, 38 million plus followers right across all social media platforms. Our good friend Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, back in the building to talk about WonderFi. We're so happy to have Kevin back. And Ben Samaru, CEO and director of WonderFi, here to talk about the company. First off, guys, right across the board, congratulations. Today is a big day for the company, obviously, as we said, making its debut on the NEO exchange here in Toronto. Again, WNDR, if you want to check out the symbol. Josh, let's kick things off with you. Why don't we? This is a big deal, obviously, for you as maybe a first venture into this space in general. As someone who has such influence on Gen Z, we're talking, you know, a VC fund that has 100 million plus followers across all of its partners. Why was it important for you to use this opportunity with WonderFi to teach this crowd about financial literacy specifically, and give us your thoughts on DeFi in general?
Yeah, I mean, to start right off, the desire that I have shared with WonderFi was so important. It was going and empowering the youth, empowering others, and really teaching them and giving that confidence to go and to invest into DeFi. And with more and more curiosity sparking from this young generation today in the crypto space, and me seeing that through comments when I'm talking about cryptocurrency, if that's even through my younger siblings, my brother who's 12 or my sister who's just turned 18, and they're interested in getting involved. I know that it's a huge responsibility of mine to really share any knowledge I'm gaining and bring them along on this journey with WonderFi with me to really just get them to be educated and understand how to invest in crypto.
It's a great story, and as I said, we're so happy to have you with us today. Kevin, I want your thoughts on this as well. You've said 6 out of 10 of your most recent investments have either been in the crypto, blockchain space or DeFi space. Tell us why you think this latest push or this latest excitement has been so much greater than it has in the past, and why you felt you had to be a part of it.
Because in the last 3 years, the regulatory environment for crypto has changed all around the world, including in Canada and the United States, Switzerland, Germany, France, everywhere in the EU. I think there's a tremendous amount of institutional and consumer interest in this if there was a way to make it compliant. So on the institutional front, the reason they really haven't embraced crypto yet is there's no infrastructure to support all of their mark-to-market needs, the regulators, the external auditors. We have the same problem on the consumer side. And what WonderFi is solving for is the ability for my daughter, for example, who wants to make some interest off her cash. She'd like to buy some stable coin and get interest, but she has to be compliant on her tax return. We don't even have that worked out yet. That's what WonderFi is going to do. It's going to make it really simple to do it, but do it on a compliant basis. Nobody wants to be a cowboy when it comes to reporting their taxes. I don't care what country you're in, you want to be compliant. So this baseline opportunity, and what I saw in WonderFi was Ben's team that understood the regulatory environment was changing, but also knew how to harness it so we could report for people. So I'm proud to say that we'll be one of the first, I think, to make it easy for the hundreds of millions of people who want to use DeFi to do it on a compliant basis. I don't have the option to be a rogue or be a cowboy investing in crypto. I have to be compliant because I have dozens of other investments in reporting companies that are financial services entities. I can't afford not to be compliant anytime. And WonderFi is giving me that opportunity, and I'm here to tell the story right beside Josh. We know that it's so important today when you're taking a new idea forward that you have to be able to reach out through social media and tell the company story. That's my job with WonderFi. So far, so good.
And we love the fact that this company is really making an effort to make it not only more accessible, but easier in general to understand. And Ben, I want to come to you, Ben Samaru, CEO and Director of WonderFi, and get your thoughts on this as well, because tell everyone, first of all, when it comes to DeFi, this is a term that we've heard, over the past couple of months more and more frequently. Some people may be sitting around saying, okay, I hear this term DeFi or decentralized finance. Tell everyone exactly what it is we're talking about, first of all, and how exactly WonderFi is going to approach bringing this to the masses on a more simpler scale.
Absolutely. DeFi, just to simplify it, it's new technology that enables financial products without an intermediary. So there's a lot of high value opportunities within DeFi. It's being able to lend and borrow without an intermediary. It's being able to earn interest on your assets without an intermediary taking a cut, buy and sell assets directly peer-to-peer, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different really compelling applications within DeFi, but one of the, you talk about accessibility, it is a huge issue. And our founding team's been in the crypto space since 2016. So we've seen how that sort of this community, it is very, it's a great talented sort of community of people, but it's very sort of insular and doesn't always have a good lens for the public. And so when we started working on WonderFi, that was the first problem we identified is, yeah, this is amazing. This technology could be the thing that disrupts finance, but nobody can use it. Anybody that's played around with DeFi knows it's too complex. You get lost in it. and your average person just does not have the opportunity to use it, which undermines the whole principle of DeFi, which is democratizing access to finance. So we've got something incredibly unique here, where we've got the biggest name in finance and investing, the biggest name in crypto, which is Sam Bankman-Fried and his group backing us, and then the biggest name in social media and the voice of Gen Z, Josh, who's also becoming a prominent name in the investment and finance community, all behind us. And it's really this intersection of social media and finance that Kevin touched on, which really is the part of the future of finance. So we're really excited to help create better access to DeFi and to really help bring it to the masses.
Speak to the importance here, and Kevin touched on the regulatory side of it, but speak to the importance here of both privacy and the security issues surrounding this space. There have been, question marks, and I think that's kind of maybe some hesitation that people have regarding the unknown, first of all, and then, how that's going to be addressed. So speak to how the company plans to, address some of the ongoing security issues that have popped up over time in this space.
Absolutely. So it's really by design. So through our app, it's a curated experience where we're only providing people with exposure to protocols that are audited, tested, built by established teams, and have had a ton of transaction volume go through them without any issues. Part of the problem that you see in DeFi is lots of the technology is experimental. So you have people that are crypto experts and traders, like a lot of people on our team, that are doing this day in, day out, and that's where a lot of the exposure happens, because you have more complex technology, more smart contracts, more exposure points for something to go wrong. But again, that gets away from what the core value of DeFi is, which is really can be distilled to a few simple kind of functions that really people have a need and a want to use. So our job is to not present DeFi as this really complex thing that some coder in his basement is working on. It's really something that has value that everybody in the world can benefit from, and just packaging it up so that we're not providing people with exposure to things that are experimental and that create really high risk for them.
Kevin, I'll throw the same question at you. When it comes to the security and the privacy issues surrounding this space, where do we see this going over time? You mentioned, a little bit on the regulatory side, but where do we see the security? How does that get solved, and how do we get further adoption into this tech?
The chain itself, blockchain, whether you talk about Ethereum or Solana, any of these chains provide incredible audit detail that just hasn't been harnessed yet for reporting purposes. The biggest challenge in DeFi and fintech itself right now is there is no infrastructure for compliance. WonderFi is working on that very aggressively, so that, just before I came on the air, my son is up here working remotely. He's an engineer at Tesla. And he said to me, "Dad, what's the story on WonderFi? When can I actually use it?" And the reason he's waiting is he can go on to any wallet out there. He can go and be rogue if you wish, but he has no way to do 1099 reporting. He knows come tax time, what's he going to do? Try and calculate capital gains and interest himself across multiple wallets? It doesn't work. That's the problem. WonderFi is going to solve that. So not only on a secure basis with the chain behind it, but also to provide you with the reporting you need. My whole thesis about investing in WonderFi and in DeFi in general is that over the next 36 months, the next 3 years, the entire industry is going to focus on providing the same global infrastructure for compliance. That includes internal compliance, it includes external auditors and regulators in every geography. It will provide that infrastructure, and then the demand for products like this that Ben was just detailing will explode. I estimate, just taking Bitcoin, that there's $1 trillion worth of demand out there at the institutional level if there was compliant infrastructure, which there isn't. That's the problem. You try, think about this. You're running $1 billion mandate. You want to put 10% into Bitcoin or crypto. You can't download the app for an institution off a phone and stick $100 million into it. That makes no sense. It's the same problem for the consumer. The first question they have is it safe? And where's the reporting come tax time for me? That's really what we're trying to solve here. And I'm extremely excited about it. And I'll add something else that Josh brings to the table, along with my social media followers. The biggest challenge for every fintech company and anybody in DeFi is customer acquisition. Can they acquire customers on an economic basis? We think the WonderFi platform is going to be a fantastic way to help consolidate this industry, because between Josh and I, we can tell the story of any company's product or service that we want to acquire. So let's be transparent about this. We're going to grow this business on the basis of our ability to communicate with shareholders and users in a really unique way. Combining social media today and storytelling with market capitalization has proven to really change capital markets. You've seen it happen on Robinhood. You've seen it happen on Reddit. We're just another part of that. We are able to tell this company's story, and we're starting today with its listing.
And it's such a key point and a great one at that. Josh, we'll give you last word here. Give us your take on how your generation, that Gen Z group, is not necessarily adopting to this technology at this point, but give us your take on their opinion of this. Are we going to see this as the next banking system for your audience specifically?
I think 100%. When I see trends through social media, if that's on platforms like TikTok or Instagram or wherever you go, even just hearing it through the grapevine of my friends as well, kids are so interested in getting into this space and it being safe, like Kevin is saying. And for us to be able to really bring this to them in a way where they're not going to be necessarily dumping in their money or their savings from their 9 to 5 that they're also saving up for college into a coin that's going to be pump and dump the next day. This is something that's going to be protected. This is something that's going to make people feel very, very safe when they're investing their money. So I'm just excited to have them join the app.
As we said, a bit of a dream team, gentlemen. Thank you so much once again for your time. Congratulations right across the board again. WNDR, the ticker, guys, here in Toronto on the NEO Exchange. Josh Richards, Kevin O'Leary, and Ben Samaru. We appreciate your time, guys. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
There we go, guys. WonderFi. Check them out.
Oops, we did it again. There's another one for you guys. So thank you so much as Brendan mentioned, the dream team there coming through. And yeah, very, very interesting. Nice to see, like Brendan mentioned, their Gen Z getting on board with some of these ideas. And so, as the market goes, right? And that's what's going to change right now. I like some of that talk. So please look into WonderFi if you have any interest in the DeFi space.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get back to trading. We are a trading show, right? We just talked about a symbol. In WonderFi, let's get back to some trades that I've got on here. Peloton. We got some out in front of 103. That was the 1-for-1 target. Now here it is back underneath where we got in. So we're up like 20 cents on the remaining half of the position. Again, I'll let it go to 101. I wanted to see how much further we can go. A quick move like that doesn't really give you a chance to kind of step in or kind of wait and see what happens. So at this point, we're kind of stuck in the trade. So we'll leave it be and let that go. Airbnb coming off that 154 mark a little bit. Again, this trade is meant to be target for me, 152 half, maybe 152, depending on how it trades. So that's where we're waiting on that. And what else we have? We have Apple still working the lows. Man, Apple still refuses
the market just turned.
Yeah, Apple refuses to go with the market because the market was going fairly strong up into the 25 area, 45, 25. That's what we were working with. Remember, we are flat on the futures at this point.
Yeah.
But there's enough stability. The way the market has traded below 45.20 makes me think that there's enough support here. So the fact that Apple's willing to continue selling down while the futures look like they want to find a base, that's interesting to watch. The dynamic there is, because it's kind of weird, but it's interesting to watch. And sometimes you get this like weird relationship, and just keep an eye on it, because at some point they're going to have to snap back together because they are so linked to each other that you do have to watch Apple as it moves along with the futures as well. For anyone who wants to look into trading futures, guys, it's on CME, ES futures, E-mini contracts. You're welcome to look at the CME website and you can learn more about what's accessible. Just be aware that futures trade differently, so understand the rules and regulations that go with trading futures. Brendan has something for us at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's have a look at what's happening in the world of money so far today. Overall, we have the dollar slightly lower. It did start the day in positive territory, so we did get a bit of a reversal on the overall US dollar, now down 0.18. The euro still in positive territory here, but it is making some moves. I went out to a 30-minute chart here on the euro because we did get a bit of a reversal off 118.5, I should say. A bit of a spike to the downside as we saw the opposite from the US dollar. Canadian dollar in negative territory, still holding under 80 cents there, 79.2. Everything else relatively uneventful. The Turkish lira making moves today, about a full percent to the downside. Bit of a choppy session here for cryptos as well. It's Ethereum, guys, at last check. Anyways, yeah, 2% for Ethereum to the upside. Back over to you.
Yeah, we liked Ethereum. We talked about that earlier, and it's been moving around a little bit today. Ethereum had a fun day because it tested this 3,400, and look what's happening right now. I mean, right now we're barcoding 34 to 34.20, so lots of upside potential here. I believe we'd probably make a run back to 35 today, and it just, one move up there. Now it's kind of just doing a dance. So we'll wait to see if crypto wants to go or not. But NEO, starting to go back up to day's high. We already cashed out day's high. It does break near that 50 mark. We get another piece out. But, when you take a decent amount of shares here, you're able to get out parts like this. So now we'll wait to see 38.75 now coming back up to the day's high right there for NIO. Just reviewing some of the positions that we have here because we only have 7 minutes left. And then we're back at 3 o'clock. So never fear.
Yeah, one of those things. I look at the trades that I potentially kind of screwed up big time on. ACIU, I had the read proper. It was done well too. So I initially went long. They realized there was some action above 1250, got out of the short for a 10-cent hit. And then when they took 13 and came right back in, I went for the short at 1246 or something like that. And I ended up right off the open. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't like it. I need to pay way too much attention to this. So I'm going to walk away. I took like a 10-cent winner. That was at 1246. It went all the way down to 11, bounced up to 12, and here we are, sub 10. And the thing with this stock is there is nothing stopping this from going straight down. Look at where we have first, call it support if you want, like 725. This is still another $2.50, 25% available to the downside if this were to continue to the short side. So now at this point, you got to wonder, can you get into this? And that's what I'm thinking in my head. I mean, can I get into this? Maybe take 10 short with 11 stop. That could potentially be a read that I'm going to go into. Well, first off, let me see if I got to pay for shorts, because I think once I got to pay for shorts, my mind changes.
Right, that's like your kryptonite, right?
I refuse to pay for shorts. It's just one of those things, especially even if they're cheap. You're telling me.
No, but it makes sense though, right? Like I paid for Robinhood today, and you know what? I haven't even got filled on Robinhood. So there we go. But I guess I ignored it. I liked the short. We actually liked. Remember when we said the Robinhood prices, and I guess we don't have any orders out. Remember we both liked the short into 44. Well, I mean. That
came right off.
You're kidding.
Yeah,
it went all the way up to 44 and then came all the way back down to 42.60. So again, let's. I want to do something. Let's. I don't like this one, but I don't know why I just hit this. My bad, guys. But yeah, we'll spit that one out because we missed that opportunity right there on Robinhood. We talked about getting short into this 44 area, and then remember we literally talked about 44 and then holding it up to 45. So that would have just been a pretty sweet trade. But that's a perfect example, Arun. Like. If you don't pay for shorts, you don't have to worry about it. Now that I did, and I look back and I say, well, why did I forget to trade this? But
here's the
distractions, right?
Yeah,
we had Zoom long, which we made much more money than that paid for short anyways.
Yeah, but here's the issue with pay for shorts for me, right? You could pay for shorts, and if you can pay for shorts as you want to go get the shares immediately, it still takes like maybe 30 seconds for us to get the order in, get the fill, get the approval from the back end, and then be like, oh, you know what, the shorts are assigned, now you can go ahead and take the short.
Right.
If that process was like instantaneous and you didn't have to do that ahead of time, I'd do it, because then I know I'm going to use it immediately. But if you pay for the shorts ahead of time and then the trade never develops, and then you're stuck there, you've already paid whatever, right? If say it's like in Spirit's case, Support.com's case, last week, 66 cents a share. I had to have made those trades to make it worthwhile. 66 cents a share is expensive.
Yeah.
And then you want to have to take that trade now. Now you're like, oh, I got to make that money back because I'm already losing at least 66 cents on the trade per share I take. So now I got to trade in, try to make that money back, at least $1 spread. it gets complicated. Sometimes it forces you into trades that you really don't want to be in, even though you may see the read. But, you know, it's one of those things. I am trying to get my hands on ACIU. The shorts were free. So, you know what? I welcome free shorts. I see a potential shot. So I'm going to go ahead and take the shot on that short. Airbnb coming back off this 154 area. I don't know what to make of this. I'm going to wait it out a little bit more, but that's not helpful. There was expected to be no support down there in the 154s. I was looking for 152 and a half, maybe 152. Wasn't getting it. Okay, we're going to have to wait on this and see if we can't maybe continue this trade into the afternoon. And hey, you know what, futures, guys, futures holding strong above this 45.20. They keep trying, but they're not getting anywhere. So that level is going to be something you got to pay attention to, especially going into the end of the day. Be aware, though, that today's the end of the month, which should bring some volatility. Even though it's August, relatively speaking, there should be some volatility.
There's the MSCI rebalance.
There you go. We do have an MSCI rebalance available on our internal webpage from Day Trade the World. We do have access to see what the weightings are and whatnot. I got to take a look at that and see if we can get some more info.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about that at the 3 o'clock show, but that's going to add some volatility. So 100% correct on that one. Look at Tesla. Yesterday we bought 717s. Today it's 740. Tesla continues to make moves to the upside, man. And again, when this was at 600, I called 800 by the end of the year. Looks like that'll be happening by the end of the fall, if not by... not today, but you know, maybe mid-September. We'll see where that's about to go. And then, you know, guys, again, this was a very, very scary average in. I mean, not scary, but we did talk about it when we were in this, and that we were right near these kind of breaking spots downside on NEO. But this is how I trade, man. Like, we take that first break that we liked, that was on our sticky note, we crush that to the upside, then we let it fall. Like, I didn't average in, right? We took specific prices. Like, we took 25s, then we took O's, and then it bounced all the way back up, and now it's back to day's high. And there goes NIO. So feeling a little bit like Superman right there. We're running short on time. Is it a big earnings board at all for tomorrow? Because right now, I just see what national day it is, guys. I have no idea if the earpieces are working, but when it is, let me know, because we could throw to Miss V with what national day it is. But right now, we'll throw over to B. Wickens.
Yeah. There wasn't anything terribly significant, guys, for earnings, so we'll take a hard pass on earnings for today. But there are a couple still to come this week, I believe. So stick around, come back this afternoon, join us obviously at 3 o'clock. Campbell's Soup, if anyone cares, I think was the biggest name aftermarket tonight. But let's go to Miss V.
Thank you, Brandon. And hey guys, I hope you're having a great day so far. Please make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel to receive notifications when we are back. And of course, we will see you at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for the afternoon show. And happy National Trail Mix Day, everyone.
Trail mix, okay.
I mean, I was going to say, I don't think there's really a better snack. I mean, if you get the right trail mix, it's super, super healthy. I love to eat that kind of stuff. Sometimes the wife buys, I forget who makes it, but it's at Costco, and they have little white chocolate chips in it, like chocolate chips, white.
Yeah.
And they're just so damn tasty. But yeah, I like that. If you like these nuts, then you love trail mix. So that's a good one on that. You're a fan of trail mix, Arun?
I don't mind trail mix. It depends on what the mix is. Sometimes, you know, sometimes they're good. Sometimes they just get a little too sweet for me.
I don't mind the cranberries or the little raisins.
Cranberries are really good. Yeah, the cranberry ones are nice. You know, I feel like I have seen the ones that you're talking about from Costco.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. The wife knows. She'll probably be messaging me right now. PayPal's starting to go again. That was a big trade for us. I know Brendan is a fan of trail mix, I would believe.
Definitely. I'm gonna make one caveat though. You know those? I think they're yogurt covered either raisins or.
I think that's what it is. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Not a fan of those.
Really?
Outside of that, yeah. Definitely, thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind those. Those are actually pretty decent.
The chat caught a little comment there. Good job for anybody that caught that. But yeah, look, we're super excited. It was a big show. Thank you so much for everybody. Thank you to Wonderfy and that Murderer's Row of guests. It was absolutely fantastic. And again, can't say enough about Brendan and how that interview went. So thank you so much to Brendan for that, and to our fantastic team. I mean, honestly, if you guys have that shot, we could throw at Lucas, Maggie, Rob. Thank you so much for organizing a lot of that, and for, I mean, how good was that camera work? It was bang, bang, bang. It was perfect. Thank you so much for all of that. Thank you to Miss V for wearing her green, as it looks like the market now getting back to green. So hopefully that can happen as well. But hey, for everybody at Trader TV Live, thank you to Arun for filling in one more time. Thank you to everybody. We are the Trader TV Live team. We will be back at 3 o'clock, so join us then. Thank you and have a great afternoon.